What's up, everybody?
Wow.
This is the kind of gaming show.
Loud.
So
Yeah, loud, because we're loud and we're fucking...
No, like too
It's like
loud.
8
Stop
o'clock
it.
at night.
No, fuck that. What's up, everybody? I'm Connor. That's Andrew. Good. Introduce yourself. Yeah.
I'm Brandon, and that's Miguel.
Ha.
Hi, you don't get to say anything.
So, we got some good shit today, because we're gonna be talking about Game Boy. I played a game for a company. Pokemon.
Oh,
Shit. Okay, so Andrew, let's talk about this GOM. You know the company people. Give the rundown on that. Real quick.
Oh, you mean the one that I sent you, the Vikings people?
The Wulverblade.
Cool, man. So
we're not your.
your mic's on, bro.
Whoops, sorry about that.
All right, so we got sent in a pretty cool game for Switch. It's called Wulverblade.
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 Yes.
On the Switch?
Yeah, it's on the Switch.
Yeah.
Oh, what's going on?
You're doing.
the
Oh, it's a
cables.
cord.
Taking cable stuff. Hey, what's up?
I see.
everybody?
We're a professional studio here.
Speak for
That
yourself.
wasn't unprofessional.
No, of course, no. It's,
Anyway.
but, I was kind of surprised when I was looking at it. It said it's rated M. It's like a beat 'em up style game featuring hand drawn art.
I dig it.
Vikings. I don't know a lot about it other than it looked cool and it was for Switch, and so I requested it for Connor on behalf of the studio.
Yep, and I played it. It was an interesting one. It is. It was fun. I'd like to say that right off the bat. I don't want to talk some mad shit on it because I'm always pretty critical on games when I play them, and I don't want to say it was total shit. It was fun, but it had some interesting ideas. Like when you attack, you basically stop moving, which right off the bat seemed a little odd to me.
Annoying.
Yeah, when compared to normal beat 'em ups, and from that it came a point where when I was fighting certain bosses and stuff, they had some moves that you could interrupt, but then others that it was if they started doing that and you didn't get the fuck out the way, you're gonna get smashed right now, and it was
So the bosses aren't really built around the game mechanics?
Yeah, it's an odd one.
Okay.
You have to basically say I am not going to attack right now and get the fuck out of the way.
Pick and choose your
So
battles.
what is it that makes it rated M? Because I was looking at the screenshots and there was nothing inherently that made me say, "Wow, this is rated M."
See, the thing that makes it rated M is that you can cut a motherfucker's head off and throw it at other people and rip a guy's arm off and then beat his friend with it.
But
and
that's
kill,
just a good time.
Yeah, you can and it's you just go in and you're a Viking and you smash villages and whatnot. It's you versus the Romans that are encroaching, and it's pretty cool.
I feel like it's difficult to not get an M rating in most games nowadays.
I was gonna say, is it inherently gory?
There's a lot of blood. There's not gore, but there's they're cartoons, so it's it's as violently gory as non it. Okay, there's no bits showing. There'll be bones picking out of an arm, but
Right.
it's they're cartoony.
I don't know about that, Brandon, because it's Destiny, for example, manages to maintain a T rating with
It doesn't have a whole lot of blood.
but it's the violence. It's but Halo.
Halo is rated M.
That is
M.
But that's
interesting,
because
isn't it?
blood splatters all over the floor and everything.
No, but
That's true.
Halo
Mine has actual
Halo
blood.
5 is teen.
What's up?
Yeah, Halo 5 was T.
So it's changed.
That's because stuff has changed. They
I think trying to get you.
oh, what's he doing?
He's pointing at me.
Bring him down.
Bring me down, thank you.
You're this. No, you're that one.
Yeah, so Halo 5 is teen, and that came out when around the time Destiny came out.
Wait, Halo 5 is teen?
Yeah, is
Yeah.
that weird?
It is.
So it's it
Oh,
changed a little bit, but Bloodborne is going to be rated M, and it doesn't have cussing, but it has just blood, but it doesn't have gore. It's just blood splatters.
Well, so the funny thing with Halo, I remember looking at this concept before, as they were, I remember back in the X-Play days, they were all talking. They're it's a really weird M too, it's a soft M, and that's because
did they have language in that one though?
There were some hidden dialogues that would happen on if you had the "I want to be your daddy" skull and everything, or would have been your daddy.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
If you had that stuff going on,
Did you say wanna?
I wanna, yeah. I accidentally said wanna, but the thing is this was you gotta remember Halo 1 came out back in the early 2000s.
Something, yeah.
Yeah,
Literally 2000.
which was literally 2000. So which is still a few within the government.
Mortal
still,
Kombat 2.
Yeah,
and
government still hates
Conker's-
Columbine video
Yeah.
game type thing.
Fair enough.
So it was it's just guns and violence, and then it softened up because hey, this is alien blue blood violence.
Yeah, it's a little different. It's not people on people.
Yeah.
Before you
Especially, I was gonna say, especially because then Gears of War came out,
Yeah.
and it was you're actually
That
sawing
was a
man
few
in
years
half.
later, though. That was
But that's my point. And then that's when
Oh,
the M scale in Halo went down to T.
Before you go
And
off,
then it became
like,
a lot of anyway. Go ahead.
so before you go off too on a tangent, is there
Yeah.
any like closing thoughts? Like, one, how far did you get into it? Inherently, is it good on the Switch? Because I know there's a bit of a difference there. Like, a game could be good on PS4
Yeah,
or
well, the game
at home
is-
console, but is it good to take on the road?
Yeah, I
And-
would say so, specifically because of the arcade mode, which is 3 lives and 3 continues, kind of like an old school, kind of a, like with Turtles in Time, they have the same thing. You die a few times and you only have so many continues. And that's...
Did you just not just put in more quarters and keep going?
Yeah, right. Well, I mean on the home console.
Exactly.
Yeah, like they stopped. They didn't give you unlimited continues unless you were playing on like
That would
baby
be
mode.
Oh, that would be really
But-
funny if games started doing that with an arcade mode where you actually pay 25 cents.
Oh, don't encourage them. They'll do
no,
it.
that'd be
They'll
awesome.
so do it, dude.
I know, because they already have microtransactions. But that's the best way to do
horrible.
microtransactions.
Shit, if the game
But,
starts off free, maybe
I don't. see
Yeah,
it as
exactly. That'd be
any-
awesome.
Yeah, if it was free,
you
maybe.
buy credits.
I mean, you go to
You
an
get
arcade
some
for
free.
free.
Get some free. But before we get off tangent, yes, I don't think there was any problems on the Switch inherently. I believe it seems like everything was functioning as it should. I believe it was halfway through. From I can't remember the exact level counts, but from what I was looking at, yeah, I got around halfway on my first playthrough on the arcade mode, and then I played further until it was like, oh, okay, I got to do some other stuff right now. I played further with the unlimited mode.
Sure.
I will say that I didn't like playing as the standard barbarian guy too much. He was too slow, and I was like, man, this doesn't feel like a solid beat 'em up to me. And then I played as the woman. She's much faster, much more accustomed to what I like. So,
I like women too.
well, the faster gameplay is what I was going for.
I like women characters
And,
in games as well.
It definitely has an appeal to different game styles. So, but yeah, don't expect this to be like the greatest beat 'em up, but it definitely
So
was not
I
bad.
guess the final question about it would be, are you going to keep playing it? Is there any chance you're going to keep playing it after the fact that you no longer have to play it anymore?
Yes, I probably will.
Would you pay money for it?
Would I pay money for it? I'm really cheap, but
Me
I mean, like
too.
if I was someone who bought video games on a regular basis, yes.
Okay.
I think that game was released for $20.
Yeah, I think it's $20.
Not
It's
bad.
not bad.
Not bad.
It's not bad at all. I mean,
All right, so they sent us. We got another game in to play. It's called
Oh,
Clash
yeah.
Force. I got sent that into the studio. We made a video about it on Ubercrit, which you can check out at Impress Us. Clash Force.
speaking about Impress Us and Ubercrit, that game we played, the other Viking barbarian thing, Volgar,
Yeah, Volgar.
that's coming out on the Switch.
Good
That
for
was
you.
a cool one though.
Yeah, I was surprised by that. I was like, hey,
the Clash Force video got a strike. I don't know if you guys.
Freddie, I got a strike.
That always
Damn, look at
happens.
you guys. It always happens.
Wait,
That
for
should
what?
be a
It didn't
warning.
even have any music in it.
It's
probably
just-
had music in the game that they used in the game.
No, but if you watch the video, like you cannot even hear the music.
symbol that
we
looked like
actually
Pac-Man.
we actually messed.
It's robots.
We actually,
that
I was about to
find
say,
us
because like the developers commented on it
Yeah,
on the
right.
video, and they were like, they watched it all the way
It's,
through.
it's not an actual strike. It's a warning, is what it is.
Okay,
There's not
well,
a strike on our account.
in-
We just have to send a thing and be like, no, we're allowed to.
Yeah,
And
right.
And then the
And
yeah, it's all
YouTube
robots.
people.
I fucking hate those YouTube robots.
same.
They like put pings on my Fallout video. The same people for the 60-Minute Man song.
Yeah.
And they were like, oh, you use this music and you're not supposed to use this music.
But I feel like
And
there's
I
a
was like-
level of like popularity. Like if you have enough followers and subscribers,
Well,
I
it's
feel
not
like
just
you
that.
won't
This-
really get.
Well, no, it's not
strikes
that.
on it.
It's just the actual law.
Oh.
Like, for one, you're allowed to make commentary on video games.
Yep.
Like, you're
Oh
totally allowed
yeah,
to do
absolutely.
it. And I was actually making commentary on how to fix a glitch in the game.
Cool.
And
That's your dog meat video, right?
yeah, the dog
How'd
meat
you get
video.
a strike on that?
Well, the music in the game, Fallout has the music playing
come on.
over the GNR.
Yeah.
So what happened with this one is it was playing the 60-Minute Man song, is what
Right.
it's called.
Right.
And their music bot pinged it as us using that music. And it's just ambient music in the game, so it is
Right.
allowed.
That's what I mean, though. You watch other YouTubers play these games, and it has the music where you can hear it. They don't censor the music in the games.
Yeah,
for
you
the
don't
most
have to.
part. Yeah, but they
you
don't
totally
get
don't have to because it's
strikes.
technically ambient. Just like how you can, if you're making a video and it's, you're just doing something like vlogging,
Right.
and you happen to be in a mall and the mall is playing,
Oh.
anything.
Baby,
The
you're
radio.
a firework.
Yeah, they can't knock you for that because it is ambient music in a public place.
They
Fallout
do-
is all
it's-
ambience.
You can go. You'll win a claim if you do
Yeah,
it.
you'll
but
win a claim.
It's
It will
just one of
still
it's
ping.
one of the robots that are just like,
Yeah,
hey,
it's just
I
pinging.
know this song.
It's because like
Anyway.
there's
Shoot the robots.
there's what 20,000 new videos every hour on
Yeah,
YouTube,
exactly.
something like
That's
that.
insanity.
So anyway, so Clash Force is this cool 10-bit retro style.
10-bit.
Yeah, that's what the
That's crazy.
Yeah, they did
developers
because I was like, this looks like 8-bit. He's like, no, it's 16. I was like, don't look like 16 to me. It looks more like. And then they were like, we call it 10.
We could have just went to 12 and put a little happy middle.
Yeah, no, but it's 10.
Yeah, 10-bit.
So it's very Mega Man inspired.
Yes.
In the video that Connor and I made, we probably got up to the 4th level or maybe 5th level.
Yeah,
the
something like
second
that.
world, I was playing today independently and got up to the final world.
I would like to know, did it get harder?
It got harder in the like I
Okay.
couldn't. The desert base, which I think is the 4th world, the boss just kicked my ass. So it did not get hard until like the very end.
Okay. So, because that was
Um,
my concern, because it seemed pretty easy.
It was. I
And-
didn't die from enemies. Like I missed a jump on the cart level.
Yeah.
Um,
I started dying when I didn't give a shit.
Yeah,
when
exactly,
When we were
but-
closing up, I was like literally just fucking around and dying.
but before that, I didn't die for quite a long
Okay.
time. Very rarely. It's still a good game. It's only
Yeah.
$5. Really good bargain.
Is
If
it Mega Man style game?
It's
it
Mega Man.
is
It's
Mega
easy
Man-
Mega Man.
Okay, so it's not
it is easy
Cuphead.
Mega Man. No, it's like the best way I can explain it is like if you wanted a 5-year-old to play Mega Man, but
Oh.
actually have the game be good.
It's unfortunate.
It
It
looks
wasn't
like
bad.
fun.
Yeah, it was fun. I will say
I'm
that.
looking at it
Okay.
right now. It looks like a lot of fun. Actually,
It was just pretty simple. Like if you're,
Yeah.
it would be really good if you were introducing someone to games and just wanted
Exactly.
something easy for them to play. It might be fun if you're an experienced gamer and you just really want to chill.
Exactly.
so-
I will say that I personally haven't beat it, but I've watched a review of a good friend of mine named Searle who runs defunctgames.com, and he said you can beat the game in just over an hour.
Okay.
So it's very short.
Andrew, did you take a jab at Mega Man a while ago?
What are you talking about?
Yeah, because
You
it's not
said-
a hard game.
You said if you wanted to have a 5-year-old play it, but have it be good. Was it the game or it was the child?
No, I meant
It, the
it as in the
child.
sense that a lot
Oh,
of
the
times
game-
when
yeah.
games are made for 5-year-olds,
usually bad.
they're not very
Oh,
good.
yeah.
And
Come
that's
on,
what I
we
was
played
saying.
Mega
That's why I
Man when
took
we
it
were
easy,
5?
too.
Grew
Yeah.
up on Mega Man. Shit.
Yeah, but it was hard as fuck.
It wasn't that
That's
hard. Contra was something
Contra
else,
was
but
Contra, yeah,
Mega Man's
especially
just a good
Contra
time.
One at a time.
no.
One.
What?
So speaking.
So
one at
and
a time. So
All right. Yeah, but that's Clash Force. We've gotten some other games that developers have sent us into the station, so I want to say thank you. We haven't had a chance to check them out yet. We got sent in a really cool like head-to-head fighter called Inflatality.
What?
You play as 2 wacky inflatable tube men,
Oh,
and you just flail at each other until someone wins.
Oh my god!
Wow.
We got that.
Yeah, we did.
When are we gonna play it?
I have no idea. We can play it
I
as soon
already
as we're
beat it.
done today.
Fuck yeah!
We got sent that. We got sent Into the Night or something
Sent
like
Into
that.
the-
It's a puzzle platformer. Looks really good.
These are all
It
on the
was-
Switch?
No. These
Oh, these
the
are
only
on
one that was on
PC.
the Switch was that one. We got sent in Rogue Trooper for PS4 Redux. Originally it was on PS2, got remastered. We got sent in a PS4 copy of that
Cool.
and a bunch of other Steam games.
Neat.
Yeah, it's been really great. So before we get into our top 5, I just want to say thank you to all the developers. If anyone's listening, we are talking about your games and making sure we are doing that. So thank you.
Thank you. Yeah.
Thanks.
That's good stuff. So, the top 5 Game Boy games,
But not Game Boy Advance games.
but not Game Boy.
Game
Advance.
Boy and Game Boy Color.
Game Boy
So
and
not
Color.
the best ones.
I like how our stream title is the kinda of gaming show.
Kinda of.
I like that actually. I don't know who typed it in, but it makes it
I
funnier.
bet it was Andrew
It's supposed,
Chris's
it's supposed to be a
face.
joke about the intro, right?
Oh, that's funny. That could be. Is that what Magikarp said?
Yeah.
Can you play that
Kind
intro
of.
again, Bernard, real quick, so I can actually hear what he said?
And you are listening to the kind of gaming shit. Fuck, I fucked up.
Okay, thank you. He did say the kinda of.
No,
He
he
didn't-
said the
he didn't say
kind
kinda.
of.
He said kind of.
He didn't say
yeah.
kinda, but I get where we were going. for.
Whatever.
Anyway,
Yeah.
you just wanted to hear that intro again.
I love that intro.
That's really funny.
It's fun. It's all good.
You should go try
Okay,
it.
so who wants to kick it off? Me?
What's that voice you're doing?
Well, you're the host.
I guess.
We're gonna introduce what we're doing first.
You said it.
I said we're doing
The
Game Boy.
Game Boy.
Yeah, you just said we're doing Game
Except
Boy.
the good one.
We are going to be doing our top 5
Where'd it
Game Boy
go?
games, not advanced, but colors included.
I have.
So they're basically the same
damn it.
system.
Yep, and Bernard's going to join us also
Hell
for all
yeah.
5.
All right, I guess I'll kick it off. This is like stupid simple, but it was definitely a good Game Boy game. Is Tetris, and hey, look at that ping. So,
Like your Game Boy boot up sound.
yeah. So, honestly, it's Tetris. Like everyone knows Tetris.
Everyone knows Tetris.
I mean, it was a kind of a big deal though back on the Game Boy. They were packed in. I mean, before that, it was on the Commodore 64. But you know, yeah, you break 100,000 points, you get the rocket ship going into space, little dancing men and everything. And yeah, it's like I don't know. Does anyone want to throw in on Tetris? I just think it was good, and it was like
it just
solid on
has
Game
a
Boy.
long story behind it with a Russian guy that didn't have the rights to it.
Yeah,
So
Tetris is one of those games I know is really good, and I enjoy when I play it. I'm just so bad at it.
oh really?
I am horrible. My mother, though, man, she kicks ass at Tetris.
I'm pretty solid on Tetris, but I will admit I'm pretty shitty at like when it started getting crazy on like the DS when it was like they just sort of flash in,
oh yeah, that's insane.
and I was like,
What were they thinking?
yeah, it was like you can spam the spin button to make them move around a bit, but I was
Yeah.
like, man, I don't know
Nah,
about
keep
this.
Tetris.
Yeah,
Like,
make
we don't
me-
need all this flashy stuff. Just
Yeah.
keep
Yeah,
Tetris.
I think the best version of Tetris that wasn't like just regular Tetris was Tetris Sphere on the N64. I'm not sure if any of you guys ever played that.
Spear?
What about
it's the
Tetris
one that's like a
Attack?
globe.
The
Yeah,
one-
so yeah,
Wow.
imagine
Yeah,
you're
that
playing.
one was
It's
good.
like a circle, and you go around it, and you put the
Yeah.
blocks on. It's fun.
that one was pretty
Sounds
fun.
cool.
Yeah, but Tetris, you can't go wrong with that.
I was like, what about Tetris Attack? That wasn't even Tetris. It was just that Yoshi game that's a puzzle
Yeah.
game. but They called it Tetris.
I do
Wasn't it
legit-
like a skin of a different game?
It's
Yeah,
it's
it's
like
a skin of a different game, but
Yeah.
it's really called Pokemon Puzzle Challenge for the Game Boy.
yes,
Yeah.
that was gonna be on my list.
Those two are on my list.
Nice, nice. Well, I mean, if anyone has anything more to say about Tetris
What if
I'm
we
not.
do it like this? Like if anybody finds a game that's already on their
on the
list,
list, we'll just pick
just
it.
say it so that we
Yeah.
don't have to like keep going around and go, okay, we already talked
Yeah,
about this one.
Tetris is awesome. Tetris is the best 5-minute game you can find.
Cool.
Yeah.
So now
Yeah.
Bernard's down to 4.
No, we'll keep it normal, man.
We'll just go with Miguel then.
Well, I was gonna say I'll just go ahead and call that my 5 too. I was omitting it, but then I was like, Tetris is pretty good.
I mean, it's been on like every system since, which shows that it's like a good game that people like.
Yeah,
And but you know, it was an original pack-in at launch, actually, I believe, with the Game Boy. They had a
Did
version
you guys
without
know
it.
that there's actually a Russian card that plays Tetris?
Oh,
Where if you
really?
do certain things where you like turn the knob and press the horn, the Tetris come up on the digital display. and
That's
you play it.
incredible.
That's cool.
That's
fucking
amazing.
awesome.
That's pretty neat.
I do
Sweet.
want to. I do want to play the Switch. They had that Tetris game that
Yeah,
came
Puyo
out.
Puyo Tetris.
Puyo
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 Tetris.
Tetris.
That actually looks pretty good.
Yeah, it's like Dr. Mario and Tetris put
I've,
together.
I've heard it's good. I have not played it yet, and I want to.
It's cool because it like switches randomly. Like you'll be playing with 2 people, and it will change the game in the middle of the game. So like you'll be playing Tetris,
Nice.
and then all of a sudden, boom, you're in Puyo Puyo. You're like, oh fuck!
Does the color stay with whatever your blocks were?
No,
Into?
no.
Jesus.
So that's why
Oh.
it gets crazy. It's really funny to watch.
That's crazy.
I want to play Dr. Mario now.
Yeah,
Dude,
it's
this
just
guy-
like it though.
Fucking loves Dr. Mario. Like when I first got the NES Classic, he would just come over to my house and be like,
We
"Let's
talked
play
about that. I
Dr.
remember
Mario."
that.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
gonna go in on some Dr. Mario, bro.
It's funny.
All right.
Now it's Tetris Attack.
Yeah.
So,
So who are we on? Is
What we were going counter?
He
I guess?
he went with Tetris.
you
as
in
his
Tetris
pick,
as
too.
well? Okay.
Yeah.
Mine. I have a weird order of games. So, shit. I
Well-
guess I'll just put the Pokemon trading card game on the Game Boy
Oh, okay.
because that
Yes.
was a blast.
Yeah, it was.
That was right when Pokemon came out, and I was into the cards. I was like, how old was I? I think I was 6 when Pokemon came to the United States. It was 1996. So yeah, and so I was just able to comprehend everything, get the cards, and understand how to play the game. So I got the game on the Game Boy when it came out later, and it was a blast. Also because it taught you how to play the game, and a lot of people just collected the cards like, oh, look, it's shiny, it's cool. But the Game Boy game actually, you had to know how to play the card game. So I learned how to play the card game with all my cards through this Game Boy game, and it was really cool.
yeah,
And you can battle your friends with the link cable and everything. Yeah.
I've heard nothing but good things about it. I haven't personally played it, but everyone who I've talked to,
I might still have it.
It's like an RPG too, which is cool too. So you like walk
I'm
around
pretty
and
sure
collect
I do
cards.
still have it actually. in a
Nice.
drawer somewhere.
The card game version.
Yeah.
It's really exciting
That's fun.
opening. Like
Matter
it's
of fact-
satisfying opening up a pack of cards in real life. It's satisfying in the game too.
Yeah, it's actually my number 3.
Oh, so let's call them out.
Spoilers.
Yeah, right. So I was gonna say. All right, interesting, man.
Bernard.
You just want to go through 5 or just say Tetris too? So here, I'll say Tetris because Tetris is awesome. And if you guys want to know any more about it, find the book Game Over by David Schrepp. It is one of the best reads you'll do about how Tetris came to America.
Oh,
Nice.
nice.
There's about 2.5 chapters about the plight of how Nintendo bought the rights to get Tetris and how they were able to make it become the launch game for the Game Boy. It's a really good read.
Nice.
Nice. That's really cool.
That is really cool,
I mean, a game's iconic if it has a whole book written about it.
right? And it's
Well,
even-
2 chapters in
Yeah,
that
there's
book,
2
but
chapters.
really,
But
that
yeah.
the FYI, that book should still be at the Rancho Cucamonga Library because that's where I read it at. So
Nice.
Nice.
nice. That's very cool. All right, my number 5 is Rayman Game Boy.
Oh, they had that on
Game Boy Color. Yeah, I have it
Oh
here.
shit.
It's very cool.
Played it on PS1, but
Yeah, it's basically it's a port of the PS1 game on Game Boy Color. Really good port.
Is it the same game?
Yeah, I'm
Oh, okay.
fairly certain it
I
is.
fucking
It's the
love
original
Rayman.
Rayman.
good.
that,
That's the only good
But
one.
on Game
in my
Boy.
opinion.
Oh, okay.
I completely disagree with that
Oh,
statement.
good.
Rayman Origins is amazing.
Well, okay, that's different, but not like 2 and 3 and all the 3D ones
Oh,
that
when they got all
change
3D and
everything.
everything.
What about
change the style? And
fucking,
amazing.
I forget what it's called. I think it's the first 3D one.
No, the first one, well,
2.
semi 3D, I guess.
Anyway,
No,
yeah,
not the first. One.
it's a fantastic game. Literally, if you like Rayman, you'll like it. It's on the go.
Yeah, I do
Um,
enjoy the first Rayman. I
it's-
agree with you. I didn't really care for 2 and 3.
It changes the aesthetic and
Yeah.
the humor, everything completely. Anyway,
Yeah, it's a little awkward sometimes on the Game Boy, just because I feel like it doesn't control quite as well
Mhm.
as it does on the PlayStation. But it's still a pretty respectable port and a
the epitome of the 90s.
yeah, exactly. It's
It's good.
I love that Rayman stole his abilities from Plock on Super Nintendo, but
that is awesome that you know that. Actually, have you ever played Plock?
I own it.
Plock is awesome.
It's a fantastic Super Nintendo
Really
game.
stupid humor, but it's a fucking great game.
Yeah, I know. It's super underrated too. All right. Anyway, that's my number 5.
Okay, number 4.
4.
My number 4
I was going backwards.
is Okay. My number 4 is Donkey Kong Land 3,
Oh, interesting.
which was an interesting one. It controls a lot like Donkey Kong Country. It obviously doesn't look as nice as Donkey Kong Country. Sorry,
was gonna say
got
Donkey
all
Kong.
on there.
Country is on my
Country?
list as well.
But
Country.
Donkey Kong Land 3, it was really fluid. It completely feels solid on the Game Boy. And funny story is I actually got my copy of Donkey Kong Land 3 at the bottom of a lake. I was
What?
I
And
was
it played?
yeah, totally worked. I was swimming at Lake Gregory up in the mountains,
Mhm.
and I got a set of goggles and I was diving, and was at like probably the 15-foot zone right there, and I just saw something kind of glimmering there,
Wow.
and it's the yellow cartridge, and I went down, got it, and it didn't have a label on it or anything.
That was yellow too?
Yeah.
'Cause I remember Donkey Kong Country was yellow as
Yeah,
well.
Donkey Kong Land 3, they made it in a yellow cartridge, and I took it all apart and just let it dry out because I had read in a magazine on a Nintendo Power just
You
like
rub
a few,
toothpaste on it, it'll work.
not that, but a few months before that, they were like, hey, if your games or your controllers ever get gunky or whatever, you can clean them out with a toothbrush, and as long as they dry for a day, you're good. And so I followed those rules, did that, and then it worked, and I was able to
Nice.
play, and it was a solid game, and I loved it.
Maybe that's why Nintendo stuck with cartridges instead of discs when they moved to the PlayStation.
Oh, yeah.
There's another sad story there
Yeah.
that
Uh-oh.
you don't know, but yeah, somebody dropped
Someone
that.
dropped their game
Oh.
in the lake. Yeah.
I was
Either
thinking something
that-
happened to his game, but yeah, someone
That
had
or
to
they
lose
chucked
it.
it in the lake.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Some
Fucking hated
some
it.
asshole
And
might
they're
have
like,
just
fuck this game. Like, yeah.
I really hope that was the
fuck
case.
my parents $40 or whatever Game Boy games used to cost. I
Yeah,
don't
Game
know.
Boy games,
I
they
didn't
weren't
buy my-
cheap. I know that.
I didn't
but
buy my
They had to be
$40.
less than
They were less than consoles, but even
probably $40.
Yeah.
That sounds about right.
I remember
Something
paying that
around there.
about that much for Yellow when it came out because I actually had to buy that with my own money.
What?
Ooh.
Damn.
Yeah.
Big pop.
I was really
ballin'
lucky
over there.
because Pokemon came out like literally like 10 days after my birthday.
Cool.
When I was like was it 6 or 7? I think it was 98 when it came out in America. And Yeah, I was like, I saw the show. The show debuted the day before my birthday,
Oh, jeez.
and then I was like, I want the game. Oh, jeez, Andrew's got the biggest glasses in the world right now.
to catch a Weedle.
I feel like that's probably not the biggest glasses in the
No.
world.
They're probably not. They're like probably the biggest glasses that a person could functionally wear.
But they're
on their
very
face.
inefficient.
No, I'm sure they make bigger ones
Absolutely.
with like different apparatus.
Apparatus.
But they probably
It's just apparatus.
Well,
Right?
they're
Just
like
say
headbands
a
and
bigger
shit.
apparatus.
Yeah.
Make
Any of you guys
easier.
play Donkey Kong Land
An
3?
apparatus to wear
No.
glasses.
No, no.
Not on Game Boy.
Not that I
Damn.
recall.
It was fun.
Cool. I believe you.
We go. Number 4.
Oh, number 4. Number 4 is but I mentioned it earlier. Pokemon Puzzle Challenge.
Hey.
It's just like Tetris Attack. It's literally the same game,
Okay.
but with
That's it.
Pokemon instead of Yoshi characters.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah, I'm a total noob scrub when it comes to those games.
Noob
Yeah,
scrub.
I really enjoy kicking your ass at that one.
Yeah, it was pretty funny. Like, I got it, and he came over to play, and then it was like, by the way, I suck at this. And he's like, oh, really? And yeah, I got my fucking face stomped.
I have to actually change my number 4.
You just changed it on the fly. Bernard, you wanted to mention some shit about this?
Pokemon Puzzle Challenge is my number 4 also because
Nice.
that
Wow.
game's amazing.
It's fucking great.
Again, another great 5-minute game. And when you talk about Game Boy games,
You want
you
those.
want a nice quick game. Before we could have quick states and stuff like that. So you could play Puzzle Challenge, go for like 5 minutes, put it down, and be done for a day.
Mhm.
Perfect.
It did
little
remember
game.
your stuff, like your unlocks and everything.
Yeah.
It had memory on
Yeah.
it.
It
Also,
has
a
that,
jewel case.
Oh yeah, it yeah the games they had saves and stuff back then, but the point is like you couldn't like real time save, or you couldn't
Yeah,
you couldn't like in the moment.
No save states.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
But,
could.
but
you
I
could
still,
pause it.
I
and
still
leave
own
here.
this. I'm pretty sure of it.
Me too.
I
have mine
I
in the
love
drawer
this
somewhere.
game.
I'm gonna play that when I get home.
Nice.
Sweet.
That's my favorite part about doing these lists is like after you do it and
It
you
just
remember.
reminds you.
Yeah, exactly. When you get home, you're just like,
Fuck,
Yeah,
I need to
wanna-
get a Game Boy.
They're cheap.
I know.
Yeah, they're dirt cheap. You
Go
can find
get
them.
It was a joke.
Get a Game Boy
It was a
Advance.
joke.
You want to go?
Sure.
What's your number 4?
This one's on my list only because I played the shit out of it because I was a little kid, and it was also my first R-rated movie with Small Soldiers.
Ah.
Oh.
Yes.
Small
That
Soldiers
was-
was rated R?
Yeah, believe it or not. No, maybe PG-13.
No, yeah, definitely not.
I don't think it's R. I'm
It was
gonna double.
PG-13.
I'm gonna double check this.
Okay, either way, I
Fact
played a
check.
lot of that game with the broken jump.
Oh.
That jump mechanic was like, you had to be right on the money on the pixels to get that jump just
What's
right.
PG-13?
Wow,
was
that's
PG-13.
surprising
Okay.
too, though.
Well, either way, I was a little kid and I shouldn't
Right.
be watching PG-13 movies.
Yeah.
But I watched it a lot.
I mean, that's up to your parents' discretion.
it's true.
is that's
It's about
the
toys.
You turned out
the
all right.
Gargonite,
Yeah,
the
so-
Gorgonites and all that.
Yeah,
right? I love
yeah,
that
that's it.
movie, man.
It's so good.
You know what's funny? I love that movie too. Like as a kid, I feel that movie did everything it needed to for little kids. But it's like
If it had action
on
and
Rotten
everything.
Tomatoes and everything, it's rated 48%.
Fuck that,
Like,
no.
They're all like, "This is a terrible movie."
Turn that
And I was
front upside down, yo, it's 98%.
Hey man, yeah, there you go.
They really
anyway,
got a shit plot or something that we don't remember.
I want to
It-
watch it again to
It
see
worked
one.
for kids.
Right.
I wanna
it
see-
actually is pretty good for like the animation they have in it for the year it came out.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, it doesn't look bad.
Yeah, it actually.
And
didn't
it's an almost 2-hour movie, so
they
it actually
used,
has a lot of plot.
They
going
used
on.
puppets for some of it, didn't they?
Yeah,
Yeah.
probably. I fucking
And I had toys
I don't
and action
remember.
figures. Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, me too.
I
I forget their names.
had the dude with the big fucking chest, and he looked kind of like Duke Nukem with a giant
You had the
smile.
command. Oh, and he had the cigar
Oh.
sticking out his mouth.
Yeah, and he
Man,
fucking-
you had the bad guys.
when he
Yeah.
when you I had the I can't remember any of their names, but I
Gorgonites.
had the main Gorgonite.
Yeah, the lion guy.
Yeah, but I thought it was great though. That bad guy, his head
So-
flipped over
Nice.
into his chest. It was funny. Like,
I miss
Oh,
toys like
Yeah,
that.
I
Yeah.
had one of those too. Fuck.
yeah, they were all
I
like
think it's the same guy.
toys were cool. Yeah, they
fuck.
transformed.
Anyway, yeah, that game was pretty fun.
So
Yeah.
even though you said it, even though you're acknowledging it's bad, you still loved it as a kid.
I mean, it might be bad. I don't
Okay.
know.
Oh, you said the jump button was fucked up.
Yeah, I remember this one level when I was in the house. It was pretty later in the game, but man, I could swear you had to get in certain places because they had items, I think. But I would sit there like when I was camping and stuff and just this fucking jump. I didn't cuss, of course, because I was a little kid.
I
I was
didn't
like,
say. fuck.
darn, Game Boy.
Darn it!
Only you didn't say frickin'.
Well, I didn't
Oh.
say fuck.
What were those toys actually? Because you said those toys were cool.
They were cool. Yes,
if
they
If those
were.
toys came out today, do you think kids would be like, "Oh fuck yeah"?
If they play with yokai, then yes.
Yeah.
What do you mean? What-
Yokai, you just slap a little token in there and make.
No,
some
I mean the
noise.
monsters, like the monster toy yokai. Like these designs were actually fairly cool. Like for the monsters and stuff. Come on. Get out of here. I don't like this game.
Andrew.
Anyway.
Oh yeah, so my number 4 is Mega Man Dr. Wily's Revenge.
Fuck yeah.
Fantastic game. It was released after Mega Man 3 came out on NES, so it combined both Mega Man 1 and Mega Man 2 on one cartridge.
okay.
You played through 4 bosses from the first game, and once you made it to Wily's Castle, you had to fight 4 bosses from the second game.
I played the hell out of that game too, dude. That was
Yeah,
a great one.
it's a solid game.
It's
I
a
enjoyed that one.
great. It's not exactly a port, but it's a great mishmash of
Yeah.
everything you want on Mega Man.
It's almost a collection.
Yeah, exactly. It's probably one of my favorite Mega Man games. I know.
I mean, 2 is my favorite, so if it's on there,
Right.
Yeah, parts of it.
I mean, I totally have to, like, I see your point though, because for me, honestly, I've always said that I enjoy handheld gaming the most.
really.
To me personally, it's been the thing I've done most growing up is handheld gaming. I attribute part of that because I didn't know I needed glasses until 5th grade.
Oh.
So,
So holding a screen.
yeah, to
10
me it
feet-
was like, oh yeah, having something right here, I was able to see it and work it, and then when we finally went to the optometrist, and then I was failing miserably at the eye test, and I was like, oh,
Nice.
Oh no,
oh yeah,
he's stupid.
He's stupid.
I loved handheld games.
You just made me think, man, I just gotta
Oh fuck, he's
the fucking
stupid.
joke. And it'd be really great is if they're like, oh, he needs glasses. They put glasses on him, he still gets it wrong. Yeah, but Mega Man was the shit.
I loved
think on
handheld
Game Boy it was
games.
good.
Oh my god, I can't play handheld games anymore, and I hate it because I grew up with a Game Boy and NES, like small controllers and stuff, and then Game Boy Advance and NES and all that stuff. But my hands didn't stop
Yeah,
growing.
Mine did.
So even PS2 controllers were like, PS2 feels good. Then I got a little older, and I'm like, what the fuck, dude? All these controllers hurt my hands.
This isn't even a very big phone, and my hand barely
That's
covers it.
insanity.
Yeah, Connor's hands are so small. He's comfortable using an iPhone SE.
Wow.
Yeah, like it's actually uncomfortable for me to use this phone. This is like not even a huge phone. It's
Like,
like
I
a normal
wish I
phone
could
nowadays.
use the original Xbox controller for everything.
The Duke.
Oh yeah.
Because oh man,
I
my
surprisingly
hands just
like
won't
that.
stop growing, and I hate it because I want to play things, and I'm like, I remember trying to play the PSP, like Monster Hunter 2 on the PSP, and I'm like, this isn't
Yeah.
a DualShock controller. Like I can't play Monster Hunter anymore. It's broken.
Do we have any more Mega Man things we want to say before we go into
Mega
number
Man 2 is
threes?
phenomenal. Before the
Everyone
slide.
knows that.
Yes, before the slide.
Yeah, that's my number 4.
Hell yeah.
I want to fuck Mega Man. I wanna fuck Mega
What the fuck, Mega Man?
Huh?
Fuck
No.
Actually, if we're going that line, bass is my boy.
Base.
All right.
Take the
Alright.
blaster.
But Zero,
Zero's a bitch.
I don't know.
Damn.
I don't know. He's got that sword. I don't know
So-
what he can do with that.
I guess I'm gonna throw an honorable mention here. I almost put Super Mario Land, but I took it out for Super Mario Brothers Deluxe.
That's
I
good
have that
choice.
game at home.
It's,
It's just Super Mario Brothers.
it's
basically.
the first game. It is the first game, but it's fucking solid.
Which they then ported to the Game Boy Advance.
Yeah, but still, it was on there, and it was like it came with a bunch of unlockables. Like you can unlock all these different artworks and everything. You could actually just sit there and listen to the music.
Well,
Um,
deal with anything.
Well, I mean, like it actually had it there for you to
Oh,
play, and then it also had the original Mario Brothers game, the arcade game, and you could play it with link cable. And the reason why I had to put it there was like that's the big reason why I fucking play the shit out of Mario Brothers, is I played it so much on the Game Boy, and I'm trying to get back at playing Mario fast. It's fun. Like I'll never be world record fast. I don't think I'll ever play that much, but
you have to have a
you
brain tumor or an aneurysm or something.
You
able
have to
do
be
it.
dedicated. Just sitting there playing Mario Brothers for day in, day out. But I used to be able to do it, and I'm trying to get back to being able to at least being party fast. Like go up to a party, be like, "Hey, want to see me beat Mario in
Right.
like 6 minutes ish?"
I'm the worst because I don't like speedruns at all. I actually really hate speedruns.
I don't use glitches if that makes you feel better.
I guess it does.
It's
yeah.
it's the pipes that I still use. There's
Fair
the warp
enough.
pipes;
Yeah,
those
yeah,
are in the game.
Of course.
So
I
I don't
just
use
like
glitches.
Playing games for what they are. And I like
Yeah.
them being rewarding, and doing something fast doesn't provide any more of a reward.
Well, but it's like you've already beaten the game or whatever. How many
Yeah.
times? It's,
Yeah, and it's fun to play.
it's just
How
like
many times have I beat Dark Souls?
you
I
wouldn't
still play it.
speedrun. You wouldn't speedrun Dark Souls.
No,
Really?
no, because
Huh.
I enjoy every minute of it.
Don't you-
What about 100% speedruns,
What do you mean?
where people play
100%?
every single level
Oh.
Beat all the bosses.
But as
collect
and get all the
everything.
collectibles and
as
stuff.
fast as
Oh,
possible?
that'd be cool. Yeah, I guess that's cool.
Oh no, I was just. You guys all talking at the same time makes my head fucking hurt.
Shut up.
Are we talking at the same time?
Who cares?
It's not at the same.
It's boring if we're just one at a time.
Pooping.
Yeah, just pooping.
What the fuck?
Bernard, you
Which
fucks
one
with
is it?
Deluxe.
Yeah, he fucks with Deluxe.
Actually, no, I don't think I ever played this one.
Damn. You played original Mario Brothers though, right?
Of course.
Yeah. That's it's what it is, but it's a solid port on the Game Boy. So you have original
It
Mario
looks
Brothers.
like fun, actually.
Yeah, it's really good. I mean, and it's in color too because it was a Game Boy Color game. They had the nice little crystal cartridge
Yeah, look
where
at
you see the battery and everything.
that's
One
like
of those
foreshadowing.
ones.
it's like the only other physical game I own at home for Game Boy.
Oh,
It's
you
Rayman and Deluxe.
Yeah.
Give me a copy of Deluxe.
What was that?
I said, give me your copy of Deluxe.
Give me $100.
No.
Mine burned in a fire.
Oh,
Drop it in the bottom of the lake.
yeah, using that old excuse, my house lit on fire. I was
Oh
playing the video.
man, you use that all the time. Yeah, because everything fucking's gone, man. It sucks. It really sucks. I would have had one of those cool collections that all those YouTubers do nowadays. They're like, oh, look at all these fucking games, and it was like, yeah.
You know, speaking of, little sidetrack, I had someone come into my store yesterday, and GameStop,
Is it
by the
Mike?
way.
Still
Yeah.
in your mouth?
Yes, it is. It's in my mouth. And he was asking, like, for the DS games, we don't keep the cases. And he's like talking shit on my store because we don't keep the cases. Because, I mean, there's reasons. I'm not going to list them. But we don't keep them. And he's like, you can't even play this game without the case. And I'm like, in my head, like, that's bullshit. I probably could fit that game into a DS and play it without with a case, you know, whatever. And then everybody knows him for some reason who works at the store. And he's a store manager at a different GameStop.
oh,
I'm just talking shit on my GameStop. Because we don't have DS cases
What a shit
or
bag.
real cases. And I'm like,
Or any cases.
and he's spent like buying all these games that no one plays or no one likes. And I'm like, why do you work at GameStop? Work
Probably
at a retro store where you can collect things. or
same
something.
reason I did. I played the most obscure shit too, but I worked at GameStop for 2 years.
Fair. You worked there for 2 years?
Yeah.
damn.
I
I've been there for 2
started
years.
seasonal to 2015.
Wow. I started in 2015. Not
Yeah,
as
and
seasonal.
and you were my boss. What the fuck happened? Total side note, man. Reason I left GameStop is because
Brandon's a dick.
well, that's part of it. But
That's why he
man,
left that GameStop.
yeah, exactly. No, man, I had to go to 3 different GameStops in my time working because
Me too.
bad interactions with my managers.
Oh, jeez.
I went to
Fuck.
3 different GameStops with the same manager.
Oh, this is another random, somewhat off topic, but we're talking about Mario Brothers. But since there's 2 GameStop workers here / former GameStop workers,
One game crazy former worker, too.
okay,
Oh, there we go.
is this the first time that Nintendo has had a midnight release
Yes.
of a game?
No,
Well, kind of.
Kind of.
They gave us the
Let's
go ahead from now on to sell Nintendo games at 9 p.m. because it's midnight on the East Coast. Before it was true midnight no matter where you are in the world.
Well, the thing was is
But-
that they used to just not have Nintendo games midnight launches. They like every other game was like, yeah, fucking.
Well,
go
some.
ham.
We did
they always did
Pokemon Sun and
Pokemon.
Moon.
Okay.
I was gonna say I worked the launch.
Yeah,
for
and
Pokemon
the
Pokemon
Sun
Sun and
Switch.
Moon.
So the Switch and Zelda when that came out this year.
Mhm.
But they gave us
That's
the go
true, too.
ahead from now on to 9 o'clock p.m. release.
If I remember
for every
correctly,
Nintendo
didn't
game.
they do a release for Pokken Tournament?
See, that was on the Wii U,
I
so
don't think so.
No, that sounds familiar. I'm pretty
Unless
sure
it came out with another game, and then yes. But
Yeah,
usually
something else came out and it was also
Okay.
available.
It's
it's an interesting thing because like I always noticed that before is like like Nintendo games never had the midnight release. You'd have
There
to
was
go
a
at 10
weird
a.m. and all that.
head clashing with Nintendo and GameStop. For
no
a while.
Nintendo does not
Nintendo's
like
just weird on
GameStop.
everything. Nintendo
Yeah.
doesn't like anyone.
But I think with allowing
doesn't like
third party,
Nintendo.
yeah, Nintendo.
Nin-
Wait, Nintendo doesn't
Nintendo don't what Nintendo
themselves.
does.
Yes, and but I think it's with like the whole thing with third party developers on their systems now. They're like, yeah, I don't see why we can't do what everybody else does.
Yeah, okay.
Hopefully that means they're opening their minds, and that's cool.
Yeah, right. Now they need to like stop getting on people's cases for making videos about their games.
Apparently, that's
There's
been
ve-
a thing for years because YouTube is flooded with Nintendo games.
Yeah, there's very few YouTubers who they like and will let Jared.
Yeah.
He already reviewed Mario Odyssey. I watched
Yeah.
that before we came in.
The completionist does
I like him.
YouTube sponsored videos, but like Angry Joe, who is bigger than both the completionist and Pro
How
Jared.
is that possible?
What the fuck? I
It's
never
not
even heard of
allowed.
that dude.
You
Angry
never heard of
Joe?
Angry Joe?
He's
Holy
not
crap,
Don't
are you
watch him
serious?
unless you
Never
really
heard-
want to get pissed
But
off
he-
at someone for hating your favorite games.
But he literally goes out of his way to hate everything.
Exactly. That's why.
What are you
I hate
talking
it.
about? Are you guys drunk? He
What?
gives 10 out of 10s all the time.
I know, but I'm saying it's always an angry review. Like
I don't
It's
like
just
his
because it's
reviews.
angry review, just because
Yeah.
that's what his name is.
I know.
He
No,
I'm
started.
saying it's a character.
I'd still rather watch
Yeah.
The Completionist because he's a good person.
no, I know he still gives
Joe-
good reviews, but
Joe is a good person.
I'm
he
sure
will,
he is.
He will get.
Well, I haven't
He
met
will
Joe,
pull
so.
whatever like little shitty thing is there. He will pull it up to the top.
Sure, I understand
That's
that,
what I'm
but
saying.
what all I
Yeah.
was saying is he's bigger than both the Completionist and Jared, and
That's interesting.
he made a video on Mario Party, like a full review, and Nintendo's like, nah, and he was praising it.
Don't do
He gave
that.
it like a 9 out of 10, and the like badass approval of a seal, or seal of approval, which is what he calls it. And he's just like, and then Nintendo's like, nah, I don't like that this video got
I
3
don't
million
think I've
views.
I think that
Ever
actually,
made it through one of his videos all the way through.
I have.
I think that has to do with the fact though they probably didn't want badass next to Mario.
Oh.
True.
Well, it's just one of the like even
do they have-
anytime he does anything
Yeah.
Nintendo,
Well, it's because his presence though
Yeah.
is let's make swearing and all that stuff.
I mean,
So they just don't.
Jared does that too.
But maybe
No,
they're
he doesn't.
not to that
Yeah.
level, but Jared does curse in his videos.
That's probably what it
Very
is.
little,
Yeah.
if any.
Yeah, it's probably the amount.
Okay,
cursing.
so I guess my argument to
It's a
that would be is
persona.
why is Nintendo okay with James Rolfe doing Nintendo videos?
Well, he does everything.
true.
Nintendo. He used to be the angry video game nerd.
You mean angry Nintendo nerd?
Nintendo
Yeah,
nerd,
sorry,
yeah.
he is that. Yeah, never mind.
Yeah,
yeah.
so
I'm
it,
drunk.
like he's fine.
I'm not
They're fine
drunk.
with him doing it, and he's worse than Joe.
He's
I think it's
wonderful.
well, he's
No,
not,
I don't mean content. I mean
That's
the cursing.
the games
Oh,
that
yeah.
the games that James Rolfe covers though are third party games mostly, like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde.
LJN
Oh.
games.
They're not games made by Nintendo. They're not Nintendo IPs.
But he did
we're-
do like Nintendo. Like he recently did his Game Boy peripheral one, so it was all Nintendo products.
But
Yeah.
they are all third party made.
Some of
Nintendo
them. I mean, he
products.
was playing with
No,
his
but it
Nintendo.
is-
He talks
they're
about
all
Nintendo Power.
third-party stuff.
Oh, all
One of
them?
his
Okay.
most popular videos is him talking about Super Mario Brothers 3.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Like,
By the way,
I'm just saying. All I'm saying is that Nintendo, like, it's the same way how iDubbbz
Can you
views curse words. Either all of it's okay or none of it's okay.
right.
They can't give preferential treatment to Jared, who I love Jared's content, just because he's one of like 3 approved YouTubers. You know, like
Maybe he officially joined the Nintendo Partner Program.
Ooh,
Jesus.
I
And
didn't know
Angry
that.
Joe
No.
has not. There is
There-
an official partner.
there.
program.
No,
Wow.
I've read that, and basically, if you're an official Nintendo partner, your channel can only have Nintendo content on it.
Mhm.
Oh, interesting.
Jared is not one of those because if you
Yeah.
over
definitely
half
not.
of his stuff isn't Nintendo.
Maybe he worked something out, but I don't know. That's a
Well,
that's a
obviously-
huge gray area. that we don't
Obviously,
know.
he's friends with them. If he did
Yeah.
an interview with Reggie Fils-Aimé,
Yeah, that's definitely
Oh,
something.
yeah.
I think
The
he might be an
Completionist did that
actual
too.
partner between them.
yeah, I don't. Anyway, we went off on a huge tangent here.
Doesn't matter.
By the
we got
way-
2 hours to fill.
AVGN's
it.
new video about Polybius is really good. So
I'm
watch that.
about halfway through it.
And I did find out he actually did a whole review on Zelda 2.
Oh yeah, I remember that one.
There you
Damn.
go. Number 3.
No, wait. What? He never finished the story about why he left GameStop.
Oh,
yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah, I've
So-
been keeping track.
Originally, wait, which one?
You were saying,
Vista.
why
Let's
you
just
left. You were
say
talking
Terra-
about-
Oh, okay. So I left our GameStop because
Was
I
it
was in the
boss?
middle of doing Grease, right? And
is that the new street name for heroin? Or?
yeah, no, the musical Grease. And our boss, I told her my schedule way in advance. Like, this is when I
This
need
wasn't
off.
Kira.
It was Kira. I was not trying to.
don't,
I was not trying to mention their name.
I don't mind.
Well, I
She might
do.
mind.
I don't want to burn bridges, but I told them my schedule way in advance. Like, hey, I need these time slots off, and she consistently kept on scheduling me during the same time. Like, person, I need this time off. I told you months in advance,
To be
and they're like,
fair,
nah.
We had really short staffing at that store,
That
and you have a responsibility to be at work.
it's not my problem.
It kind of is if you signed on as an employee for that
Yeah.
company.
You can request, but it doesn't mean it's guaranteed.
In any case, I started driving for DoorDash, and when I first was
remember that.
doing it, I was making a lot of money doing it. Well, lot for what
Relatively
I-
speaking.
relatively speaking to what I'm doing now, but it was just a combination of schedule conflicts and me thinking, oh, I can do this and I can work around my schedule. There was like no bad blood, like personally with anybody there. However, the second store I worked at, which was in San Bernardino with, I don't give a fuck if I say her name. Her name is Shay Cole. She was my boss.
You don't have to say last.
The last
names.
name was like super
I don't give a
unnecessary.
Dang.
Anyway, when did you
She's
work
a-
at this one?
I worked at this one.
I
I got
after Terra Vista.
no before Terra Vista.
Oh, well, you said
Um,
the second one, so.
No, Terra Vista was the third store I worked at.
Oh shit,
University?
Well, yeah, the one right by your house.
Oh, okay.
the shitty
Um,
one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I hear that. You know, people
Dude.
consistently call that one the shitty one.
That's so funny.
Holy,
people who
so
work there.
it.
Yeah, people that work there, people that, like I guess like their sales and shit are just like always behind like
Oh.
every store.
University,
It's-
like in the little
yeah,
shopping
yep.
center
Like
in
Cal State.
Riverside.
No,
Yeah,
no,
University
Bernardino.
Parkway.
Oh, never mind. I'm
Like Cal
thinking
State
of
San
like
Bernardino.
the one next to the movie theater in Riverside.
No, so
Does it?
I went in there, right, and I was working, and this was during the release week of Song of the Deep,
Huh.
right? So
remember that.
everyone had to wear the Song of the Deep shirts.
I did not.
Whatever. So I came. I always got a little flack because sometimes I did not dress like the way they wanted me
You
to.
wore T-shirts.
I wore T-shirts, right? But I came to work in a suit. Like I
awesome.
came to work in a suit, and Shay was like, "Hey,
That's not.
put
fun.
your shirt on."
Yeah.
And I was like, well, I didn't bring one. And she screamed at me and she said, put your fucking shirt on. And then she went off on me, and I literally left the store and I called
Cried.
HR.
Oh.
No, I called HR and it was ridiculous. They got me transferred over to the other store.
There's been some weird stuff.
This
with
has been
GameStop.
consistently though,
but
like
I'm
on
not
top of
gonna
that, so one time we were working and we were slammed, right? The line was all the way back to the door. It was me and my assistant manager. And they were working and she was in the back, right? But she wasn't doing anything. We asked her, she was back there for 2 hours. We're like, what were you doing, Shay? I was just looking at what games I want to pre-order.
Hmm.
For 2 hours.
I mean, okay, all this is not a reflection of GameStop as a whole and what it should be.
No, it's one person in
Like,
particular.
we're not condoning this as this is what should happen. At
No,
GameStop.
I will say that the first store I worked at I worked at the Tyler Mall
Yeah.
under a
that's
woman
a
named
good store.
Monica,
That's a
who's
pretty
now
cool
a district manager.
Very cool.
Fantastic store. I loved working there, and I
Yeah.
really enjoyed working at Terra Vista.
I love that
Even though I
store.
had 3 different bosses when I worked there.
I did too. I love that store.
I worked with I worked.
As outside looking in, that one is such a weird store because it's like skinny and just
But
keeps
it's
on
perfect.
going in. It's just like it's just a really long store.
I know. My store at the Mills is the biggest, close to Citrus. I think like Citrus and us is the biggest.
The Mills one is big.
That's where I'm at.
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay,
in the
yeah.
We're
Mills.
talking size?
Yeah.
Size of
Yes,
the
Yes,
store.
I
like actually
think the
walking in
Mills
pretty
is
big.
the biggest. Citrus Plaza is probably a little bit higher grossing because of its location. But either way, it's a lot bigger. I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in combination with that, I left also because I was there for 2 years and I was not promoted.
Oh shit.
When people all the time who were under I'm not you.
I know.
Like I said, when he first came, I was mad at him, but not at him
I was
personally.
already a senior game advisor.
Exactly.
Like, I was
So
just moving
it's,
through to
they
the
they
store.
left. People left, and I was like, oh, there's finally an open position. And then here comes fucking Big Dick Brandon over here with
Yeah.
his title.
Just advertise that.
Yeah, exactly.
He's like, I like that name.
So yeah, just no
been my
growth in
name
the
for-
company. I thought I could make more money, so
But
I
I've
left.
had a ton of growth, as Andrew just implied.
Oh.
Yeah, no, it's interestingly, since I left, I had
right now?
interviewed at 3 different stores and a bunch of different places. Like I got offered right before I started doing the job I am now. I got offered a job at Vic Gardens.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that'd been cool. Even though I only know, I think, 2 people over there now because Justin went over and took my spot at Terra Vista. It's all good. I like the mill so far.
But yeah,
It's
man,
been really good.
I really enjoyed my store. I liked working with everyone there. Kira, Caleb, Victor,
All right. Well, we
good
got like
people.
Brandon.
we got a small chunk
Yeah.
of shit before we have to go to break, so we should go on to Miguel's.
Oh,
number
yeah.
3.
What's the
What was your
number?
number 3?
We're on number 3?
I already did my Super Mario Brothers Deluxe. That was 3.
Yeah,
right,
we
we
started
yeah,
talking about
that's right.
GameStop, and then you guys wanted story time.
Yeah,
So
we started it. My
Yeah,
bad. My
he
bad.
was like, you were on 3, and then you were like, wait, I want to hear the rest
We
of this
sell Game Boy
GameStop
games
story.
on-
Well,
online at
because
GameStop.
you derailed.
Yeah, fuck it.
you,
Go on.
Anyway, yeah, my 3, like I said earlier, was the Pokemon trading card game.
Yay!
Cause yeah, dude, it taught you how to play the game, and you could just play the Pokemon trading card game like wherever the fuck you wanted. You didn't.
People don't know that it's a real game.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think that's really funny
It's
to like
really
throw
funny.
in there. Is a lot of people collected Pokemon cards and had not a goddamn clue. how to play.
Nowadays, even they don't know it's a game. Even when it comes with 2 decks, just play with your friends. Come with 2 deck boxes, you get your little flippy
There's a
coin,
rule book.
and it's rule book, and people are still like, "What do you mean it's a game?"
Yeah,
Whoa!
I thought you meant the cartridge. The
Oh
trading
no.
card.
I just mean like the actual card game.
I was like, people didn't know that existed. Like, what
No,
the fuck?
not that. But people just don't know that the card game is a game you play and not just collect.
Yeah. Yeah, dude, it's like Pokemon trading card game, the game. I spent so many hours just like fucking-
Staring at Charizard. No.
Yeah, no. If like we were at a party, like you know how like if
Yeah.
your parents took you to a party or something and they didn't want to go, you'd be like, when are we leaving? And
Yeah.
you'd be like later. So I'd be like,
So we're gonna play Wario
fucking
World.
sit down and play my
Yeah.
fucking Pokemon trading card game.
Hopefully you had an extra set of batteries in your
For
pocket.
hours
Oh
on
yes.
Uh,
the pelican, the
usually-
grip, and the magnifier on the front with the light.
Yeah,
I had
I had
everything.
those too.
I had to turn my Game Boy from a pocket into a normal size
You
game.
turn into a tabletop arcade system.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Like, there's not much more you can say about
Yeah.
it. It's the Pokemon
It's the
trading
Pokemon
card game.
trading card
Pokemon
game.
You
trading
know,
card
the
game. It's a real
actual-
game, by the way.
Yeah.
The
The
cards play a real game.
Yeah, the actual trading card game to me isn't very fun. Like
No.
I've tried playing and it's
No?
not good.
You play Magic.
No, I do play Magic.
That's what I'm saying. It's like you play Magic instead. Like, don't play Pokemon. Go ahead and buy Magic cards.
I had fun.
Oh yeah, well I tried it because they have that free Pokemon TCG that they released. You know, like the MMO
Oh,
or
yeah.
whatever. I tried playing it
Oh.
and it's not. I don't know. It just wasn't very intuitive. Like I can't see. Maybe it's because I didn't get very far, but I could not see where strategy is in that game.
Is it because it was like the second card game ever made, and now you're playing Hearthstone?
It's possible. I haven't even played Hearthstone in
Man,
forever.
yeah. that
But
was-
either way, you understand there's more in-depth mechanics now. Whereas when it came out in the '90s, we had Magic, and then they're like, "Well, let's do something a little bit different."
No,
Yeah,
yeah,
the
I get
Pokemon,
that.
so-
It's just it's not for me. Anyway,
Was it actually the second TCG?
Well, I
Think
mean,
so?
there was the rest of the Deck Master series. So
Oh, okay.
Were those?
I think
Games,
Solitaire came out first.
I'm
Trading
thinking of
card
just like
game.
popular ones, again, popular culture.
yeah, well, that's what I was saying. Like Magic the Gathering is part of Deckmaster,
Oh,
and there were
okay.
4 other games that were made, and Magic the Gathering is the one that took off.
But
Oh,
were
for
they were
sure.
they the trading card games?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Magic Gathering, Venture, or no, what's the vampire game called?
Damn,
I don't remember the
Jihad
names at all.
vampire game. It was a real weird one where you had to vote and crap.
Such a nerd.
Yeah,
No shit, right?
I was a baby, so I don't know.
Oh,
Yeah.
same here.
I have my Tri-Lam sweater. I'm okay with this.
All right,
Wait, do you
nice.
guys know what that means at least?
Just
Anybody?
embrace
Tri-Lam?
it.
Tri-Lam? No.
Okay, from the movie Revenge of the Nerds. That's
Oh.
a fraternity. I have a Tri-Lam sweater at home.
I love
Nice.
it. I love it.
Okay.
Anyway, number 3. What is my number 3? Shit. I put them out of order. Kirby's
Just-
Dream Land.
Oh,
Oh,
That's fun.
Yeah, it's a port, but
yeah,
It's
it's
Kirby's
still
Dream
good.
Land.
I mean, Kirby on Game Boy was
I
fucking
didn't
dope.
know they ported that.
yeah,
Holy
even the
shit.
second one, just not the third.
And then there was also one that was original to Game Boy, wasn't there?
You remember
I
thinking
think
of
Kirby's
so.
Dream Land was original.
Kirby's Dream Land was
Oh.
original to Game
It
Boy.
was original to Game Boy. They ported it to Nintendo.
Oh,
That
it went
was-
Okay.
backwards. So
Yeah.
either way,
Nice.
So
I think
I was
Kirby's
like,
Dream
I
Land-
was sitting there in my mind thinking that, and he was like,
Yeah.
"Wait, ported," and I was
Yeah,
like,
yeah. The
"Wasn't
first
it the other way?"
Kirby's first
Either
appearance was
way.
on
Well,
the
it's on
Game
Game
Boy,
Boy.
and that's when he was
that's
white.
right
before
because
he
they didn't
became
have
pink.
color.
And
Yeah,
he was way fatter.
yeah,
He was like,
that was just on the cover.
He was American.
Anyway,
Yeah. he was fat and white.
but yeah, I think that was on my top NES games as well. Was Kirby's Dream Land, but it was on my top Super Nintendo with Kirby's Dream Land 3. I really like Kirby.
Kirby's fun.
The
Kirby's
older
great,
ones,
dude. Kirby's
the ones where
Switch.
you can die.
Or-
Is your ringtone still Kirby?
Not anymore. Right now it's One Winged Angel.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
Even though I didn't play 7 for myself.
What?
Oh,
What?
you
You've never
poser.
played
I
7?
didn't have a PlayStation 1.
I still have all 3
yeah,
discs.
he wasn't
Perfect
here
condition.
when we had the PlayStation
Oh, God.
talk. He wasn't here, so he
I,
doesn't
wa-
know
I
about
wasn't
that.
either.
I still have
Yeah.
my 3
Well, I mean,
Final
you-
Fantasy
you've
discs
heard
for
about
PS1.
Nice.
it,
Mint
so.
condition. Anyway, not
Alright.
much to say about Kirby. Everybody knows Kirby.
Everyone loves Kirby.
You suck up things, you suck it, and you blow it,
Oh, yeah.
Sounds good.
and you get
You
power.
suck, swallow, and blow in Kirby.
Yeah.
Like when it comes to Switch
You
games,
get power.
Star Allies is the only game I'm
Bernard.
like hyped for.
Number
I
12.
didn't know they were making one. I need a Switch. I don't have a Switch.
My number 3?
Yeah.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah, my number 3 is going to be Metroid 2.
Oh, it's my number
That's a
2.
That's a
Yeah.
good one.
Is that different from Super Metroid?
Yeah.
Yes, very
Super
different.
Metroid
Yes,
is
it
number
is.
3.
Oh, it's the third one.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
Metroid Fusion is number 4 because that's my
They
favorite.
just remade number 2.
Metroid Fusion's on Game Boy
Game Boy Advance. That's why it's not on my list.
Yeah. Well, one day we'll get to Game Boy Advance.
This is
that
my
the-
number
is that
one.
the 3D
Spoiler.
one?
Metroid 2 was the one where you actually get your own little Metroid at the end for the end credit.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing makes me say why I remember it so much is it was like the first Metroid game I ever finished from front to back.
Really?
That was the
You just-
one because
so
I had the original Metroid, but that game's really hard for a 6-year-old.
It's hard for
Yeah,
anybody.
it's hard for
Really hard for
anyone.
a 6-year-old. So when I finally got a Game Boy around 11 or 12, I had Metroid 2. Metroid 2 was pretty easy to handle. So
A lot shorter too,
yeah.
because I had to fit on a Game Boy card.
So Andrew, what's yours?
I'll say it really quick because I know we have to take a break soon. My number 3 is Super Mario Land.
Good one.
Amazing game.
Yeah.
I think it's the only original like
Not
platforming Mario game on the original Game Boy. Because I know there was
Yeah,
ports,
as it was made.
but
there's
I
the
also
They
like
don't wanna
Wario.
count Wario and stuff.
Yeah,
I
was gonna
also
say the
like how
Wario
the
Land is good.
locale is much different than any of the other Mario games. You know, it's in Egypt. The bosses are fun. It's a little wonky, and like when you look at it, the way you hit blocks and the way you do different things, it doesn't look right.
It doesn't look
but
like
it
a
feels
pirated
right.
game. Yeah, it looks like a pirated game.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
It looks
it does. It looks funny.
it looks like it's exactly like it's an unlicensed Mario game, but
Yeah.
it's actually pretty good.
And it has Princess Daisy,
Yeah.
her first
Yeah.
appearance.
All right.
Oh, that is
so
nice.
that is my number 3, and
Oh, we got a little bit. Okay, we're getting 2 minutes in now, so we're good to go for a
Is
little
it a
bit.
2-minute break or 2 minutes till break?
2 break.
Okay.
Someone mentioned Metroid Fusion. I think
my
it was Brandon.
favorite.
That's a
It's- yeah.
that's a
Oh,
GBA
is that
title.
was that the 3D one?
No.
No,
no, Metroid
No,
Fusion
that
is
was
2D.
Other M on the Wii.
Metroid Prime.
No. There was a
Oh,
Game Boy
yeah, yeah.
Prime. Okay, thank you. I keep
No.
trying to figure out which one that was.
I
I,
don't-
remember playing it in a GameStop,
I
and I
don't
was like,
like
"This is fucking weird."
No,
So-
okay. So Prime Hunters on the DS is you need 3 hands to play that. It's ridiculous. You need
long
one
time.
hand to use the touchscreen to look around, then you need to move with your left thumb, and then press
And then you
buttons
use
with
the
your
touch
right.
screen to look around.
Yeah,
yeah, you did.
it was ridiculous. Trying to play that, like you're like clawing your DS trying to play it.
They
Anyway.
already knew how to do the camera on fucking advanced. You use the shoulder buttons.
Yes.
It's funny.
Why the fuck would
There's no
So,
I
excuse.
hate Nintendo?
I really hope so. If we're looking at like the release date, I know I'm saying this before we have to go because I don't want to go to our number 2 and number 1. We can do that next time, our next hour. But
Yeah.
I really hope you guys know
love this
Dreamcast
song.
enough to do a top 5 on
No.
Dreamcast.
Hells yeah!
Yes, I do.
Brandon's
love
gonna sit out and
Dreamcast.
talk
Still
about
play my
PlayStation.
Dreamcast to this day.
I
wish I
would
still
if I
had
still
mine.
had it.
Yeah, same here.
Okay, that makes me so happy. I was so worried.
It's a
I
puddle
was
of
too busy
plastic
with the
somewhere in a landfill.
PS1 and playing the good games like Final Fantasy VII. Mr.
Oh, I
Miguel.
had both, motherfucker.
I was playing Crazy
I
Taxi,
had-
so who really was
I had
Yeah,
all
that's also
3.
PS1, so-
All right, so we're gonna chill out and go to break, and we'll see you all lovely faces in a little
No,
bit.
no, we will not. Anyway,
Bye.
we won't see anything. They did Crazy Taxi on PS1?
Yeah.
Oh, shit. I always...
4-minute break. 1 minute. Actually, 45 seconds.
If they ain't back, we can keep it cool.
We'll see.
I'm gonna unmute us because we're about to get in our
We should.
silence.
Yeah, because when I say 30 seconds, it's done. So, yeah, mute.
Yeah.
It's raw, it's uncensored, it's live 24/7. It's chaoticradio.com.
Hey, I am Magikarp Fly, and you are listening to the kind of gaming show. Fuck, I fucked up.
Do we need to use that twice in the same, 3 times now in
Three
the same
times in the
episode?
same episode, yes.
It's, gonna be our outro
It's okay. I'll
every single time.
I'll edit the Kriparian one also, where he's how good is the kind of gaming show? It's pretty good. When he said that,
It's
Yeah.
pretty good.
That's pretty good. We were okay. Threes. Did you
We did our 3.
we did our threes. We're all on the top
All right.
two now.
Doses.
top 2? I'll kick it off. Pokemon Gold.
Nice. Yes.
I was like, I need to put a Pokemon in here. I love Pokemon.
Gold is
Gold was the shit for me. I
still
thought,
my favorite.
Yeah, because the thing to me that Gold
Kind
fucking
of.
did that the first gen, even though personally I do like the first gen Pokemon the most. Maybe it's just a nostalgia thing.
Right.
I don't fucking know. But the thing about Gold is it was both
Right,
regions. You fucking
exactly.
got both of it. And I didn't like Crystal because as a kid I was like, that's fucking cheating that you get Suicune for free.
This is what I was gonna say. That's my number 1.
But Gold, I was like, hell yeah. And I don't know. I thought Gold was better than Silver just because it's Gold.
Absolutely.
And,
Always. My PlayStation is gold. My controllers are both gold. I like gold a lot.
Lugia is better than
Shut the
Ho-Oh.
Fuck
though.
up.
Because he had a movie.
Absolutely.
What kind of Pokemon
Ho-Oh
is he
was
again?
on the first episode.
Exactly.
I know he was.
In the
Bitch.
first game.
Ho-Oh. You mean Ho-Oh?
Ho-Oh.
He said-
Yeah,
he did
he's
say
the-
Oh, I
Ho-Oh.
thought you said. By the way, when I was younger, I always called it Ho-Ho.
Ha.
That's a cake.
He's also the rainbow Pokemon.
Mm-hmm.
Is he fire?
Golden
No,
Rainbow.
he's not. He's a rainbow fucking
The
Pokemon. What is
rainbow.
Lugia? Water? Flying?
It's a water flying fish
Interesting.
frog thing.
Interesting.
What the fuck?
Interesting.
Was Thing one of the types?
Yeah, it was like water flying fish frog thing.
Yeah, I guess so.
I don't know. Just when you look at to me, like Ho-Oh just looks like a mess.
Oh, it was a fucking
He's
phoenix.
beautiful.
No, I
And
don't know,
he's
man.
He's
Aztec.
in. What is that? Small World at Disneyland.
Yeah.
Go on Small
What?
World, and you'd be like, oh, it's Ho-Oh. Look at him go.
Look,
It's on top of the.
it's been a
Canadian guy.
long time since I've seen Ho-Oh, but in my head, I'm thinking of like a mess of a bird.
I think you think
Rainbow.
that because he's flipping the fuck out in
Yeah,
his
he's
portrait.
fucking pissed
Right?
in his picture.
Depending on what
But
version
Lu-
you're playing.
But Lugia just looks majestic to me.
No,
Like, I don't know.
I feel like Lugia got ruined for his epicness in that one episode where there was like the baby Lugia and some random other Lugia, and it was like these are just normal Pokemon.
You know, it's hard for me
whereas
to
Ho-Oh's
say
been
that
left as
too.
majestic.
I only like water Pokemon. Like I only train water, and I don't like Lugia. I don't know. Anyway, he's beautiful.
It looks like a
Beautiful.
overgrown cock.
I mean,
Well, yeah.
he's
Rooster.
He's kind of a rooster, I guess.
Kinda
He's a
is.
phoenix though, bro. Look at
That
shit.
one's better, but he literally, I don't know. He doesn't.
Sacred Fire.
Look at that. Look
You
at this
cannot
fucking. Look at this
beat.
dope fan art. He's a cool
You can make anything
motherfucker.
look cool, fan art.
Let me see it. I want to see the fan art.
This is some dope fan art.
That's fucking sick.
I want to see.
How can
some,
you? Oh,
Like, I wanna
whatever.
see some,
Anyway,
like fan art that makes Kirby look fucking intense.
there's plenty. Go on Tumblr.
Speaking about Kirby being intense, I think it's funny that every time Kirby's localized, they make him angry in America.
Yeah, they do the opposite with another character in Japan, and I forgot which one it was.
But yeah, Kirby's always like, "Hey guys," on Japanese covers, and he's like, "Let's fucking do this on American covers."
I'm a little pink ball that sucks, swallows, and fucks.
Wait, he does that last bit.
In that order.
No, in the reverse order.
No, in that order.
he fucks, swallows, and then sucks. Anyway.
Yeah. Any more words on Pokemon Gold before we go on to Miguel's number?
We'll get
2?
to it when we get to my number 1.
Mine's also Pokemon's, but it's yellow.
Yellow.
Okay,
Because fucking Pikachu
Pikachu.
he's a good
follows you.
one.
and eats your ass. Oh, I mean,
I have a little bit of a vendetta against Pikachu.
What was that?
because I only train in like water Pokemon.
Oh.
I mean, what's cool though about not gold, sorry, yellow is that you do get the 3 starters in it.
It's
so
true.
And you could
That
abandon
is
Pikachu
true.
if
You
you really
can
didn't like
If you
him.
really didn't want him, you could just
Right.
throw him away.
You can't be
But
anywhere
you-
close to my Blastoise because
Yeah.
you know
You get a Squirtle though, so that was pretty badass.
exactly. But I can't
Is
have a
it-
Pikachu next to
It's the
him.
best of both
It's gonna
worlds.
fucking happen.
You can
Is
have him in
it-
the
They're gonna
same
get
belt.
zapped. I don't know. Those Pokeballs are electronic. They can conduct electricity, and then my Blastoise is dead. What the fuck am I supposed to do?
Isn't it Pokemon Yellow that you can get the surfing Pikachu?
Yes.
Yeah, boy.
You can do that in Fuchsia City. You
Yeah,
learn to surf.
that's super cool.
Yeah, boy.
Yeah.
It's cool as fuck. That's how the
is.
little intro it had him on the surfboard.
tell
I was
you-
like, oh my god.
In in elementary school, I was the coolest kid in school because I was the only one that had yellow version.
Oh.
Everybody was like red, blue, red, blue. I'm like, hey guys, fuck you.
Damn.
I got yellow.
I still have my blue version. It was one of the few things that didn't burn in the fire.
Nice.
It was in a Yu-Gi-Oh tin. That's what kept it alive.
Interesting.
So it's funny. Like I had a pretty sick Yu-Gi-Oh collection in addition to my gaming collection.
The blue eyes white dragon.
All
Getting
that-
confused with Lugia.
Like more than that, like stuff that was competitive at the time. That was like Dark Arm Dragons when they were over $100 and shit. And but all of that burned because it was in folders. But all my bulk or like random stuff, my original Dark Magician is still okay because it was in
Wow.
a tin, and the tins are
How much is
fireproof.
that worth now? Because there's so many different versions of them.
It probably not much.
It's damaged because I was a kid, put rubber bands around my deck,
Yeah,
but
of course, who didn't?
See,
but it's good enough condition that I could still look at it and play with it. It's
A
not,
little
like,
bit of
folded.
side tangent. What is your favorite card? Not for like usability.
in
or-
Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yeah, just like if you just look at the card or from the
Exodia.
show or anything. What is your favorite card?
Well, I am partial to Dark Magician and Blue Eyes White Dragon.
Okay.
I used to collect Blue Eyes White Dragons. Like when I was at a tournament, I'd be like, "Hey, I'll trade you for this," and they're like, "A Blue Eyes White Dragon." I'm like, "Yeah, I collect them." And I had like fucking 8 pages of just
That's funny.
dragons. But then those burned, so I stopped. But I do have a collection of Dark Magician still.
Okay.
And I continue doing that because I still
Man
play the
Eater
game.
Bug was
It's
mine.
awesome.
Lord of D.
No, Man Eater Bug. You can
Lord
kill
D.
any creature that is face down on the board or on the field.
No,
You
flip
pop it
them
down
just-
and
I don't care. Did it
Kill
play the D flute?
I don't fucking care. The dick flute.
That's the joke
that's the
right
flute of the dragon. Sorry.
Anyway,
Yeah.
I loved Red Eyes Black Dragon, man.
Red Eyes is cool.
did you
I
guys?
like the whole like the Dark Magician setup, like Dark Magician Girl, Dark Magician Apple Magician, all that stuff. I
You
have
know,
all that.
going-
collected.
there. Apple Magician?
Apple Magician Girl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whenever, yeah, man.
It's from the new movie.
Did you guys
They're,
ever
they're
do
all
that?
named after snacks and fruits.
Did you guys ever do that thing with your cards when you were a kid where you put them in the sleeves and take a lighter to it and it seals it on the top?
Never.
I never
No.
did that.
You guys never did
You
that?
laminated your
It's
cards
crazy.
with the
Yeah.
sleeves.
Have you
Wow.
didn't know you could do
Funny.
that? It's really cool.
Yeah, I knew
I
you
was the
could
best
do
at
it. I
it.
never did it.
I mean, if you ever want it off, it's a plastic thing now.
You
You, can
just
go
tear it.
zip
Yeah.
and it just zips right off.
That's pretty cool.
Fuck?
It's really cool. Yeah, you just take a lighter really close to it and just melts it. It'll
I
heat
was
seal.
when I was a kid around the time when I first started playing Yu-Gi-Oh. I was like in 4th grade. Yeah, I was in 4th grade. I remember I got my first Yu-Gi-Oh card. It was airmail. I found it on the field at school,
Nice.
and
Find a lot of
at-
good things.
At that point in time, I'm actually really lucky when I don't try to be. If I'm trying to win something, I'll fucking
you
always
can go
lose.
swimming
like,
in lakes from now
but
on.
if I'm like just doing if I'm like doing something else or I'm like actively like, no, I don't want to fucking do that, I'll win it. Like my mom's like, no, just do it. I'm like, okay, fine. And then I'm like, do it, you bitch. Yeah, basically.
Worth
She's like,
it.
you little bitch. But as far as things go, it's yeah, I've just been really lucky with that stupid stuff.
Very
but
cool.
going back to why I was like under the impression that lighters were like dangerous adult people things, and
Yep.
I don't think I ever touched a lighter until like I was
Oh.
actually out of high school.
Lit
Like
candles
like
and stuff.
I touched like the barbecue ones, but like as far as like grabbing like flick lighters, like my grandpa had them because he smoked all the time.
Right.
But I was like under the impression that I would just be in trouble for having a flick lighter.
Oh no, I use the ones that were like the long skinny ones to light barbecues or
Yeah, I use
fireplaces.
those all the time. But like as far as
like
like just
fireplace.
Bic lighters,
Yeah.
it was like, man, if I get caught, this my parents are gonna think I smoke and I'll get hit.
Shoot, I had a Zippo well before I started smoking.
My dad
It
gave
was
me
cool.
a Zippo actually.
They're
like,
cool.
When I graduated, it was pretty funny, and I was like, I don't smoke, and he's like, it's cool. And I was
That's
like, yeah, it is.
Let's play with fire. It's cool.
Yeah,
Burn your house down, lose everything in the fire.
that'll be
Stop it.
loud as shit. Don't
Don't
do
do
it.
it. Miguel,
Andrew's holding a
You're
tan
number
ribbon.
2.
number 2.
It was his number 2.
Yeah, it was
You said
Pokemon's-
Pokemon
Pokemon's
Yellow.
Yellow.
Pokemon's
that's right.
yellow.
So, Brundon.
Metroid 2.
Hey, we're
Hey,
bringing
we
back
talked
Metroid.
about it. Cool.
Metroid as well.
Metroid 2 as well.
I got
Yes.
confused because it was 2 Pokemon games.
Oh, okay.
It was like
So
we
we
were
We're
from
still
Pokemon,
talking
Pokemon.
about
Yeah,
We
Pokemon.
talked
you
about
gonna-
Metroid 2. We don't need to continue on
Yeah.
that. It's beautiful. I love
It's
it.
a good game, and they just remade it, which I
Yeah.
heard is good.
And I wish I had a 3DS to play it. I'm still like
You
every
get-
day I look at it. I'm like, I can get a 2DS for $80 with my. And they're gonna
You can get a
discount on
2DS
pre-owned.
off offer up to like $40.
Yeah, I know, but the
Did you already
handheld
sell
game
yours?
thing.
My 2DS?
Yeah.
I traded that in towards the Switch.
Yeah.
I
have a
would.
3DS though now.
I
Got
would
one.
want the 2DS XL though. I like that.
It looks, have you seen the Pokeball one?
No, I like the
Ooh.
orange
It
and
looks
white
cool.
one. No, it's orange and white. They've been orange and white one.
The creamsicle one, but the
Orange is my favorite color,
the Pokeball one though.
so I don't care.
It's really sleek, man.
Is it orange?
It's red and white and black, and it's got like a 3D
Sounds like a Pokeball.
Pokeball dot on the front. Like it's like actually imprinted. It's
cool.
not just it's just not
Not
just
like a
ink.
skin like the Charizard and the Blastoise one that came
No.
out for the 3DS.
It's got a groove.
Cool.
It's got a button.
But okay, anyway.
Yeah.
2DS XL 150. You can get it Samus Metroid or Metroid Samus Returns for $40.
You get that swanky new 3DS XL
No.
with Samus on
The
it.
new it's cool, yeah, but it's still $200 just to have a 3D
It's too-
feature. And why do I want to strain my eyes like that?
Swanky.
I don't. Is the answer. But anyway, moving on.
Bernard?
Andrew Bernard.
Number 2, Bernard.
Final Fantasy, the Adventure.
Yeah, boy.
There you go.
You know, that's the first. I remember having the Final Fantasy Legend games. There's 1, 2, and 3 on the Game Boy, and Final Fantasy the Adventure, and I played all of them because I was just a big Final Fantasy dork back in the day. But the Adventure was the first time we had that gameplay of like Secret of Mana, where it was actual action adventure. You run around. There was actually one of the moves. If you charge up your sword enough, you actually fly across the screen and back with your sword and doing attacks like that. It was really fun, really innovative. And now we're talking about these things. I'm thinking, how the hell do I emulate these old Game Boy things? Because I really want to play some of these old
On
games
your
again.
phone.
You have this phone.
I do it
Okay.
on my phone.
You know what's cool? This is totally off topic, but since we're on the topic of phones, our Z's,
Yeah.
they just made a new attachment where you can have a controller.
I already have a controller
Really?
for it.
yeah, it
Oh,
just
It's called the Moga Pro.
Well, it's the Moto mods. You just slap
Oh,
that shit in there,
that's
and you've
cool.
got a controller, and it's like having a handheld system.
Well, I have this one called
Awesome.
the Moga. I think I have the Hero, and it's like an Xbox controller. Like it's as big as one, and the middle part flips up to hold your phone, and it syncs up Bluetooth, or you can hardwire it into the bottom. And I have a Super Nintendo NES and a Game Boy Advance.
I think
And
it's dope
it's
doing that
cool.
with phones.
Yeah, because the
Yeah,
controller
all
is like a
that
game or an Xbox controller, so it feels and it holds it up, so it's like having a handheld device. Drains your battery like no one's fucking business, but it's cool.
This, the one I was just telling Bernard, actually charges,
That's cool.
and I believe it actually works as a battery backup
Oh shit! I
for
need to
your
get 'em.
phone as well.
I actually really want the
But-
new Moto, but
It's pretty sweet. Andrew. Oh, my turn. What's your number 2? Pokemon Red.
yep.
Red.
Keep that Pokemon train
Yeah,
rolling.
Pokemon Red. Grew up with Red, loved it. I got Red. My cousin got Blue. So
I was a blue.
Blue's better.
I mean, I get why you say that. Water
Got my
type.
favorite Pokemon on the front of it, dog.
Yeah. Yeah, my favorite Pokemon's Primeape.
Yeah.
Always has been.
Why?
That's cool.
This is where it started.
Snorlax.
With your, that's
So
okay.
weird.
Snorlax is a staple character. He's cool. He has a purpose.
I mean,
I have a
Primeape.
onesie where I'm Snorlax, so I'm okay with this.
I mean, Primeape's not like that obscure. Ash has one. There's an entire episode.
Ash has a
for
lot
them
of Pokemon.
bonding.
He has to catch them all.
I always catch.
He does not catch them all.
But he has
He's
to.
caught like 30.
He's
Yeah.
working on it.
He's pretty bad at it. Red is.
He is
good.
really bad at it, but he's working on it.
No, that's what I'm saying though. Like, it's not like Primeape is this really obscure one. I just he's fantastic.
mean,
I
none
love
of the-
fighting type Pokemon.
None of the
so-
original 150 are necessarily obscure.
So why not like Hitmonchan?
Yeah,
No, I
see,
mean,
he's cool.
but I like Primeape better.
Well, as far as going off what you just said, I always would catch a Mankey right there at the beginning.
That's because they're at the
and raise it.
beginning.
Yeah.
It's better than a Pidgey, right?
I think he looks dope though. He kind of looks like the honeycombs
He's a-
monster.
He's a giant fluff ball.
He looks like the honeycomb monster without the nose.
Man, when I was last time I played through Red, it was probably when I was 13 or 14, and I remember I was always a Rattata guy or Rattata, however you say it.
Yeah, whichever one. you
Man,
want.
my Raticate carried me through
Raticate's
all
fast.
of the entire Final Four.
Dude,
Like this was before
Hyper
I
Fang.
knew.
That
Yeah,
thing is fucking
exactly.
Fast.
What was the what's the attack? Is it feint attack that brings him down to 1 HP no matter what?
Oh, are you talking about the Rattata strats?
Rattata
Oh, I
death.
don't know.
Yeah, so there's a strat where you like play as a level 1 Rattata
Uh-huh.
through mating. I think what's it mating? Is that what it's-
Breeding.
breeding, right? And you end up getting a Rattata that starts with quick attack and feint,
Interesting.
right? So you press feint attack, they go all the way down, and you have on an item that makes it so you can't go below 1 HP.
Wow.
So they hit you, you go to 1 HP, you feint them or whatever. They go down to 1, and then you quick attack them, and you can kill anybody.
That's
Rattata of death.
insane.
Yeah, so you go through the entire Final Four with just one level 1
See,
Rattata.
my problem is when I play Pokemon now that I think ever since I was a teenager, I've only ever used one Pokemon. I'll only catch Pokemon to get like HM5 or something that I need to progress in the story, but I only ever use Blastoise.
Oh,
Like the entire game.
for the original game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've done
All
that.
Elite Four, just because it's pointless to kind of catch more and then have to grind to level each one up. I'm like, I could
Yeah.
just make my Blastoise the maximum level that I can train, beat the boss, and then keep going.
Not counting total time, but counting save time, like whether the cartridge actually registers as time played. I used to do that with the Blastoise, just going through it,
Mhm.
and it was like a goal that I did as a kid. I ended up getting the game down to like 2.5 hours to
Nice.
beat.
I
Yeah.
get attached to my Pokemon, so it's always. I mean, I'll always have a Vaporeon. Like that always has to be there just to have it, even if I don't use her.
The trick.
I love Vaporeon.
The specific trick
A
on,
lot.
on doing that with Blastoise is you have to catch a Pikachu just to get past like not Misty, but
No, you don't.
no, you don't. There's
You
someone
can.
you have to get like a Geodude or that to fight Lieutenant
You
Surge
do not.
because he
It's
will
only-
fuck you.
He doesn't.
He will fuck you.
Because Blastoise can learn a lot of good moves that aren't
He can,
necessarily
but he'll
water.
He gets just
I
punched.
understand why you do that. I just feel like that takes the
I get-
soul out
Yeah.
of Pokemon.
I
a
get
little bit.
attached to my Pokemon.
I
If
definitely,
anything, that's
yeah.
more soul. Because I care a lot about my Blastoise
you
and
should-
Vaporeon.
You should play
I
a
love
Nuzlocke.
them.
Yeah, Nuzlocke's.
That's the easiest
Hardcore.
fucking thing since I only ever play with one damn Pokemon.
Well, if it ever
it
faints,
And
It's
it
ever,
doesn't
it just dies.
because it's the only thing I use. It
You're
can't-
not allowed to use potions in a Nuzlocke.
I get that.
Or any,
Yeah.
I feel like that's not
You know how
possible.
high his defense is?
I realize it's high. It's,
Random Nuzlocke's even more fun.
Oh yeah, exactly.
We
You
ran
should
into-
play as a randomizer.
Play a randomizer Nuzlocke.
Can you turn off different types so I'm only using water?
No,
No, it's completely so your Blastoise,
know,
you're gonna click on it, and it's gonna be like a dragon ghost type, and it's gonna have like
Oh, he has different
string
types?
shot.
You can go all the way to different types.
Yeah, so it's gonna be like string shot, and then in like 20 levels, it's gonna be like your Blastoise is evolving. It's a Porygon.
That sucks.
Yeah, it's pretty gnarly. I
Porygon's
lost
cool though. I like Porygon.
when we did a Nuzlocke before. I was playing it, and I immediately ran into a Mew.
Nice.
First
Uh-huh.
thing I ran into.
I
and it
love
just
that people
wrecked
don't
me.
think Mew is in the game. Maybe because I had yellow version.
See,
Oh, it's in there though.
I
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
I was streaming a Nuzlocke on my Twitch channel. I played it for like 6 or 7 hours, right? Straight. And I was naming I actually had a good amount of viewers. I was naming my Pokemon after my viewers, right?
Oh.
First Pokemon I ran into was a Hitmonlee, right?
Ran into it?
Well,
Yeah,
the
it's
first
all
one
random.
it's all random.
Oh, okay.
So I go into the first grass, it's a Hitmonlee, and I catch it. It is a level 5 adamant Hitmonlee, which means all of his attack, his strength is up and it pierces better.
Adamant?
Yeah, it's
That's
a
a
different
thing?
type of Pokemon. Yeah, it's
In-
It's like an ability. You know how they have
Oh,
their abilities.
Okay, I played up till
Right.
Diamond and didn't like Diamond, so I
okay.
went
So
backwards.
he had that, but what made him he was so fucking broken because he was a fighting ghost type,
That's pretty
or
cool.
no, I'm sorry, fighting psychic type.
That's
Because so
really
then
good.
anytime I would run into a psychic or anything that was supposed to be his weakness, it wouldn't do anything. I could
Yeah.
literally kill everybody.
Do you
He was
remember
so
when-
broken.
Do you remember when Psychic was weak to fire?
I do.
Apparently they changed that.
They did.
This
Now
is
psychic is
garbage.
weak to
Dark.
fairy.
Ghosts.
No, it used to be dark.
No, fairy.
I think it's very.
It's one or the other.
changing all these
Fairy
things.
fairy is either weak to psychic or psychic beats
It
fairy.
was
It's
always
one or the other.
Psychic
Fairy
and
beats
Dark that
Dragon
went
now.
back and forth.
Were you a Pokemon guy, Bernard?
Actually, that's when I stopped playing video games for a little bit of my life. That's right when Pokemon came along.
I see.
So that was like I think I was 22, and
Never too old.
I stopped playing in like 4 years, and I went back when I worked at Game Crazy, and I ain't looked back since.
That's fair.
I missed out on the whole PlayStation and all that stuff. So
Damn.
PlayStation 1 at least.
It hurts my heart.
Yeah, so we're like right up to it. We're up to the ball sacks of everyone's numbers.
Balls deep.
Yeah,
Number
Number 1.
I'm afraid mine's gonna be the same as Connor's too.
Is it Legend of Zelda? Link's Awakening?
There's a few different ones. I mean, you got
Because there
Oracle
were a few-
Ages,
there were a
Oracle
few other-
Seasons.
Yeah, Oracle Ages. But yeah. That's not the song that played.
Oh.
That's not the one that played.
Jeez.
That wasn't
That's
the
true
song that
also.
played in the intro. It was totally different, and there was the windfish and everything.
Anyway, which
I'm
one?
not
Link's
even-
Awakening, you
Doing-
said?
Link's
Gravity Falls?
Awakening.
Okay, fair
yeah.
enough.
Now, now the thing about Link's Awakening, it's an interesting story with me particularly. It was why I learned to read.
Wow.
I was 4 years old, and I wanted to learn
You
to
need to
read.
learn to read till you were 4. What's wrong with you, stupid?
Damn.
Just kidding.
That is a
for my-
little late.
No, I think that's pretty normal.
like actually
so?
reading,
Well,
Oh, right. Like
not
okay.
like cat, dog.
Right.
Like I
Oh.
was able to play
That's-
Legend of Zelda by myself.
That's true, huh? You're reading like whole sentences, conversations.
Yeah, and
whatnot.
like deducting what they were saying and going and doing those adventures and everything.
Yeah. Okay. Fair
Um,
enough.
Yeah, not like simple. Oh, that's how you write C.
That's
This
right.
is-
video
I
games
forgot you were
taught me
talking
to
about
read
like
too.
trying
It's
to
okay.
understand a game,
Yeah, because
and I was like, you didn't have hooked on phonics.
no, my
Polkadot
my babysitter,
phonics.
she taught me how to read while my mom was going to school and whatnot. And yeah, I was playing Zelda, and I learned to read for that, which was funny because it actually came in handy when Pokemon came out. 'Cause
Yeah, definitely.
so many kids, it's kindergarten age is when Pokemon came out for me. So most of the kids, like, they knew how to, like, write the alphabet and whatnot. But it was like, I'm actually able to play Pokemon,
Yeah.
which actually comes up to a funny story. There's because it was still, like, in the sound out phase, like, a lot of words I would never see, like, repel. But when the guy...
That's right. I would say things like deny always threw me off.
like,
Like, why is there a Y at the end, but it says deny?
the
I
deal
don't
with
get it.
repel, though, there's a guy in Pewter City
Uh-huh.
who said, like, it's supposed to be a sound effect of him, like, spraying it, going, "Sst," and it says PSSSST. And I knew about that, and I was like, and then I saw that it said repel, but I read it as ripple, and I was like, is this guy pissing on his garden? Because I was like, I saw the psst and then
Right.
ripple, and I was like, is he calling piss ripple? Like,
Uh,
what's up? And it's funny because even as a kid, I said piss because for some reason that was one of the first things I said when I was a toddler. Whenever we went by the cows and it smelled really bad, I was like, "Cow, he took a piss." But yeah, we're going back to Zelda. I love that game. Like, I played it again recently, about a year and a half, 2 years ago, and I was like, "Damn, this is just a solid little game. Like, you can just sit down and play it and get through it in a few hours," which is a good thing about the handheld ability of it, because you can do a dungeon, save, go, and come back, and it's it's a very solid little dungeon crawler.
Definitely.
You're over here Instagramming and stuff.
Snap.
Snapping. Same thing.
Anyway.
Snapchatting.
Do your
You-
thing.
Same game.
Mine is Legend of Zelda: Link's Awakening DX.
I was really hoping you would say like Oracle of Seasons.
I
Wait,
played
was that
both.
on original Game Boy also?
Yes.
That's
Game Boy Color.
Oh, Game Boy Color.
We're counting color.
Ages
yeah,
and
yeah.
Seasons were both color, and they actually linked up together
Yeah.
depending on which one you played first, and then
Yeah.
you go into the
I
next.
think.
I only played one of them though. But go ahead, Andrew.
No, I was gonna say I think tangent. Go ahead.
Oh, all right, whatever then.
DX, though, yeah, that was the one I actually played more.
Oh, okay. Oh,
Yeah.
you played both versions?
Yeah,
Oh, that's right. We were talking about it. the
yeah,
other day.
I had
Um,
both. Played that one mostly.
Yeah, I couldn't beat it back when it came out, but I went back to it when I was like 12 or something, and finally did beat it. And it's like, yeah, that was a fun game, dude. It's like all the bosses had like it was like Mega Man X, and that all the bosses had like a strat or like something special about them that you had to like work with.
Oh, gimmick.
Yeah, first Zelda
which
game
is-
with cutscenes
yeah.
too.
Yeah, that's true too. And it's like that was the first Legend of Zelda that I got to like play for myself because Ocarina was like too hard for me. Like to play through. I mean, like to actually get through.
Well, to figure things out as a kid in that game.
Yeah, Ocarina. I didn't understand it. I
It's crazy.
Ocarina was hard.
Like
as a
even at the
kid.
beginning, like with the little girl and waking up and stab.
finding
and all that
just
shit.
finding the sword behind the maze,
So-
like in that
oh,
hole.
that's
I don't
not what I mean.
entirely
Story for a
remember it,
different-
but apparently when I was younger, my mother and them on the N64 they bought Majora's Mask, which is my favorite out of all of them. Either that or Wind Waker. And apparently I beat Majora's Mask as a child
And you're
in
like-
2 days.
and then you tried playing it and didn't beat it, and you're like, "What did I do?"
I tried playing it since then. I'm like, what the fuck do I do? And like they watched me apparently, and I just beat it. And like I did it. Do you ever have experiences like that where you play a game as a child
Yes.
and you
Yeah.
beat it and you play it now and you're like, how did I do
How did I
that?
figure that out?
Um,
Yeah.
Not the beating it part, but I have this. Okay, so I swear by it. Like, I played F-Zero all the fucking time, and my score, my time on Big Blue was 206.10, which I have come to realize would be the world record, because the world record is currently sitting at 206.70.
Why didn't you record this?
Because he was a
Because I
child.
was a child.
I don't
and
give two
and
shits.
that cartridge has burned since then. But I'm like,
Was there really a
I-
fire? I thought that was a joke.
No,
No,
there really
I
w-
really had a fire in
That makes
2009.
it
My house burned down.
I was
a
just
little
fucking with
funnier,
him.
but
But that's the thing is, yeah, I legitimately had a house fire. I have since have been playing it again, and I just like, I'm like, how the fuck did I play it that well? Like, I
Yeah.
need to, like, I want to like tap into that.
the
was like-
child.
I was like, because
wonder.
if I could do that again, I'll have a world record on a
Be awesome.
fucking good game.
You'll be in a book that no one buys anymore.
It's the
Yeah.
same way. It's the
100%.
same way 8-year-olds are good at Call of Duty nowadays. It's the same thing.
Stupid. Yeah, those 14-year-olds that play Destiny, like get the fuck in school and do something with your life.
I was probably like 10 years old when I did
something
that
with you at
206.
14.
Yeah.
It's
Go out and change
Yeah,
the
stop
world.
killing me. Jeez.
It's so weird. Like, I feel like when you were younger, people were younger, not you specifically, but like you were both better at games and inherently worse at
Worse,
games.
yeah.
Because like I remember playing Kingdom Hearts when I was a kid.
It's hard as
And I
hell
kn-
game now.
I never did any crafting. I barely equipped Goofy and Donald. Like I didn't, and I beat it, and it wasn't a problem, right? And then I went back to play it, and like I felt like I had the same exact amount of difficulty as when I had a kid, but I was actually taking advantage of the crafting system, and I was equipping them better, and I was doing all of this
Yeah.
synergy shit. It's just so weird.
I don't know
how that
how-
happens.
And same with like patience. Like in Kingdom Hearts 2, I completed both Kingdom Hearts games, but I completed the fuck out of those games.
Right?
And I don't know how. Like I'll do it as like an adult, and, like halfway there, like I don't give
Oh,
a
dude.
shit.
I remember
I
being
don't.
pissed off at that game when I was a kid.
Kingdom Hearts 2?
Kingdom
Yeah?
Hearts 2,
I
yeah.
was never
was
pissed
so-
off, dude.
I remember just
oh,
being like,
I
this is
got
a grueling
I
fucking
got a
3
fun-
hours at the beginning.
I have a fun story about Kingdom Hearts 2, if I may go on a little
Yeah,
thing about
absolutely.
that.
Yeah, go for it.
Cool. So a week before it came out, I played Kingdom Hearts 1 when it came out in 2002. I love the fuck out of it. So I was really excited for number 2. The week before, it was spring break. So I had 2 weeks off. It came out the second week of spring break. The first day of the first week of spring break, I shattered my arm. And it was wonderful. Snapped it in half. I still have the x-ray because it just looks
That was
really
the first
brutal.
Kingdom Hearts?
The second one.
I thought the second one came out around Thanksgiving time.
Well, the second one came out in March.
I'm just going to double check this because
Okay.
I have like distinct memories around Thanksgiving.
That might have just been when you got it.
No, I remember this one was coming out. But
You can keep talking. I'm just going to keep looking.
anyway,
Yeah, December 22nd,
interesting.
2005.
So okay, I got it a little bit late then.
For the
Yeah. It was after
Oh,
Thanksgiving.
Why
okay,
did
so
I
the
get it
next-
late?
Yeah, it was Christmas time. I remember specifically because I played it at my buddy's house and he got a puppy, and it was like this little puppy, and it was eating the leftovers, and it got so fucking fat you could actually see its stomach all and it was like,
that's
oh my gosh,
gross.
and I was like, if I shake it, it'll puke, and they're like, don't do that, and I was like, all right.
Okay.
I specifically remember him getting a puppy, like, and it was like Thanksgiving, Christmas time.
Oh,
so.
interesting. Okay,
What the
so
fuck
I don't
was
know why.
wrong with you?
Maybe
It was so funny.
When
It was
did I
a
break
little
my
puppy.
arm?
It ate so much food and it wanted to
well.
eat more.
so. My story
It's like,
is
you purge it, it'll eat more. It'll
I
die
had-
if it eats more.
I broke my arm. They snapped it back in place. I had to wait a week to get surgery to get a plate in it. The day I woke up from my surgery, I had Kingdom Hearts 2 with the Collector's Edition strategy guide next to me.
Nice.
And my arm was, mind you, my right arm completely broken. So there was a plate going up my arm, which blocks the nerve to the thumb.
Mm.
So like if you move your
Oh.
thumb, you can see this.
Yeah.
It moves.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I couldn't do that.
Yeah, because there's no muscles in your
Yeah.
hand. It's all
And it was super swollen because, surgery, arm
There's a
cast.
few little ones.
But anyway, it took me 2.5 days to beat all of Kingdom Hearts 2, everything in it, by banging the controller against my right hand.
That looked different. That didn't look like.
It looked like
looked
this.
like you were banging the controller.
It was. I was sitting down. Yeah, it's going to look weird. Yeah. I was flipping with my left hand, the controller against my right thumb
hand.
as it was propped against this thing where I had to also snap it into the R1 and L2
Yeah.
to get, or R2
I
to
feel
get
you.
there.
I had a similar experience with Raw versus SmackDown 2007. I just got a cast on.
I think it's a little
Right.
copy of that.
I love that game so much. It's fantastic on PS2, right? I had a cast, and I got so good at it where left hand was like this, and the other hand on the buttons was like this.
Yeah.
So now when I play that
still
game,
play
still
like
I
that?
still like. It's just
Aw.
one of those things, right? I'm playing with my friends, and they're all playing normal, and then they look over, and I'm like,
Maybe that's how you need to play, because you say you're not good at like Bloodborne and Dark Souls.
I'm fucking terrible.
I claw the controller when I play. Like that and Final Fantasy 14. I'm usually like this with Final Fantasy 14.
What
like
the fuck?
That's,
because you need to hold down these buttons, but also hit these ones, but also move around and turn the camera.
Okay.
So you need to like hold down these two and then kind of like rotate your character
Oh,
and the
okay.
camera and hit like the D-pad. So
Yeah.
you're like doing this claw thing with the controller.
I thought you were just switching hands. I was like, how the
Sometimes,
fuck does that
sometimes I'll
help
be like
you?
playing, and all of a sudden I'll be like boom, boom, and I'll like literally have to switch to hit all the buttons in the right order and time. But Dark Souls, I have to do the same thing sometimes with the camera, like turn it like
Yes, while you're trying to
So,
like sprint and shit.
yeah,
like,
like okay.
That's
okay.
like for me. Like looking back, it's like I really shouldn't have been playing Metal Gear Solid when I was in first grade.
What's wrong with that?
But
What's wrong with Metal Gear
it's
Solid?
got like a lot of sexuality in there.
With
and
polygonal boobies, yeah.
No,
Okay,
no, no,
Final
no, I mean,
Fantasy VII
just
had
the-
bigger ones.
just the sayings and everything. But anyways,
Okay.
I when it comes to button mashing for in a game, like
Uh-huh.
in that one, the torture scenes,
Yeah.
I can't do it with my thumb. Like I can't just like,
right, it's so hard.
But because I was in a cast, and I'm all about tapping it. And now anytime, like if there's everything, I can't do the flick thing like this with my hand. I always have to just pull it up and just start tapping it.
I do the same. Anytime there's a quick time event, just like fuck.
Yeah.
So what's your number one, Brandon?
Oh, number one is Pokemon Crystal
Dun dun dun.
because I like Gold a lot,
Yeah.
but I like Suicune a little bit more.
If you, yeah, I liked Entei more, and I think there's two things. One, I was like, oh, that's fucking stupid because you're just giving Suicune, you're just.
You still have
like-
to catch her.
Well, I know, but still, it's like he doesn't run away. He, she, whatever you want to.
Yeah.
But they don't run away, and it's like, oh, you don't have to go find them. And I think I was also just salty. I was like, I wanted Entei.
I wanted Suicune because it's water type and it looks good next to my Vaporeon.
Entei's a fucking lion, and it's rad.
We'll talk about the other one.
Raiku's pretty
yeah.
awesome too.
Little,
Those three legendaries,
the
in my
ugly
opinion,
tiger.
They're
No, I
probably
th-
the coolest legendaries. To be
I
honest.
pretty dope.
absolutely.
Yeah. Well, I
Why
like.
they put Suicune in Pokken Tournament?
yeah,
Why the fuck would
I mean,
you put?
why not?
Because it's a four-legged dog.
in
I
a
mean,
fighting game.
Okami is in Marvel vs. Capcom.
Yeah, what's up
And-
with that?
People love playing as Okami.
I mean, yeah, when you play the game Okami,
It's
no,
not a
I mean
fighting
in
game.
Marvel vs. Capcom,
I'm a-
like
I'm a-
Okami's
Okami's
pretty
very-
good.
it just
fighting
feels
like
weird.
that.
Like if I'm playing Pokken
Amaterasu.
Tournament, I want
I'm
to
sorry,
be.
Amaterasu.
Yeah.
My apologies.
the game is Okami.
Yeah.
But
I'm just saying, like it's not that
Yeah.
unheard
it
of.
is weird though.
I mean,
I'd rather have a
you're
bipedal thing
playing-
with arms that I can punch.
if you're
Pikachu
playing
doesn't have
Pokken
arms.
Tournament, they're all
I
Pokemon
was gonna say,
fighting.
Pikachu doesn't fucking have arms, man.
I know when
He's got-
when Pokken Tournament was first coming out, I was like, "Oh, cool, a game for all the fighting Pokemon."
Oh,
And no,
yeah.
let's just put in a
Eh.
bunch and
It's
like
just everything.
two fighting
Hey,
types.
isn't
like,
Darkrai in
the
that?
fuck?
Can you imagine if it was just
I don't
like
know, that's crazy.
Hitmonlee, Hitmonchan, Mach?
Primeape!
That'd be so cool.
Primeape!
Because you can make like a normal
Sure.
fighting game out of that.
Yeah.
Like 2D side scroller, even like have.
Yeah, if it was like
Hitmonlee and
Tekken
Chan.
style.
That'd be well. It was supposed
It
to be. It's
is.
made by the same
It's
people.
Pokken.
Yeah, but I mean like
Tekken
just the
style,
two,
yes.
the two fighters like
It would be
face to
Yeah.
super
face.
cool. I think Machamp would just kick fucking ass though.
Hitmontop would be so OP.
Just spinning and spinning.
No,
and
he's so
spinning.
small.
Yeah, it'd be the Eddie Gordo of
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, Bernard.
Bernard, number one.
Okay, so I love all you guys Zelda picks, but I picked one game that I remember it's the first game I got for my
I don't
Game
even
Boy.
like Zelda.
Damn.
But yeah, it's called Revenge the Gator.
I don't
Revenge
think
of the
I played
Gator.
that.
And have you guys ever heard of it?
Nope.
No, but it's your favorite game, so it must be
it's
good.
a pinball simulation.
Oh.
What?
It's a pinball simulation for the Game Boy.
What about Pokemon Pinball?
I don't play that. I played Revenge of the Gator. It was awesome. Yeah, I mean, for the graphics and the lot amount of fun in it, I'm a big pinball fan to begin with. I'll be in Vegas next week, so I'll be at the Pinball Hall of Fame. Which
Love
reminds
that.
me, I won't be here next week.
You fucked
But,
up some spinball?
No, but Revenge of the Gator was actually just a real fun, lighthearted pinball game that you can play anywhere, and it's a good-looking game for the Game Boy.
I actually played this. Oh shit, I'm looking
Yeah,
at it. Yeah,
it's great, isn't it?
It's fucking fantastic.
That's half of Pokemon Pinball.
Yeah, this
No,
is,
Pokemon Pinball stole it from it. That's
yeah,
all.
Pokemon
I know, that's what
Pinball
I'm saying, it's
but
half of it.
Yeah, I was like, wait a second. Yeah, I have played this. I just didn't remember the name. Totally played
Cool.
it though.
I love pinball.
It's yeah, straight up Pokemon Pinball stole everything about it and used it.
I'm totally okay with it.
And
though.
it's a great game. I mean, if you have I'm telling you, you got 5-10 minutes, play that. You will always come back to it. It's a
Man.
really
Yeah.
good a pinball simulator.
5-10 minutes is asking a lot. I don't think you should put in.
I understand. Listen, I don't expect you to give me like a pinky or anything like that either. But you know,
Is that the Japanese box art right there? I like that.
Right there.
It's dope. Yeah,
Looks good.
I want that on a shirt.
I wish we had because the boxes
Wish
were
I had
like
that on-
I
thinner
want that on my
and
grave.
everything. And they had a,
Engrave that, please.
the Japanese Game Boy boxes had a nice soft touch to them.
Did
Oh, yeah.
they?
Yeah, I had a few imports. And I
Nice.
remember this kind of was like, why don't we get these boxes? Because ours are just cardboard with paint on them.
Yeah, that's
Like-
kind of like
well-
that reminds me of the pop boxes. Like some of them, like the League of Legends pops, for some reason, the
Uh-huh.
box is nice and soft, like a thicker cardboard material. It's
Mhm.
nice. And then all the other ones are just this shitty gloss, stupid thin cardboard. It sucks.
You know.
I don't like Pops either way.
I don't like Pops either, but I bought the Bob Ross one.
That's funny.
I was like,
Yeah, they had like 3 different versions.
feeling
I
that.
was at CV or Rite Aid yesterday, and they have a Bob Ross Chia Pet,
Yeah,
I like that. I
and
like
they also
that.
have a
That's-
Groot.
They've had that for years.
That's been
I
out
want-
for a while.
Bob Ross was still alive when they had the Bob Ross Chia Pet.
I like the Bob Ross one.
That's amazing. I didn't realize that. I was there and I saw both a Groot Chia Pet and a Bob Ross Chia Pet, and I'm like, if I had money.
Speaking about chia seeds, you ever put chia seeds in water and just?
Yeah,
it?
they sell
Nope.
that.
That's the thing.
Well,
that-
it's like in
yeah.
a juice, but
Well, you could just take chia seeds.
I know
Do
you
you turn
can.
your
You can
stomach
mix them up
into a
with
chia pet?
okay. You can
It's
use chia
just,
seeds.
it's very
It's-
satisfying. It's like
you can
eating
use them
goo.
to make like vegan ice cream. Which
Oh, yeah.
my friend has done, and it's
Yeah.
really good. It has like a chocolatey taste.
I just like it because it's what I imagine flubber would be like eating.
Fuck.
You're number one, Andrew.
Gargoyle Quest
Oh fuck yeah!
on on Game Boy.
the
Good
Disney-
job.
The Disney's.
Good
What is it based on? It's
No,
based on
Gargoyle
Disney?
Quest is a spin-off game from Super Ghouls and Ghosts.
Oh, yes, this
you play
one.
as Firebrand.
I do remember
Fantastic
watching
game.
someone play this
Well,
recently.
that's what Firebrand is from.
Fucking hard.
Yeah,
man.
Firebrand is from Super Ghouls and Ghosts, or Ghosts and
Yeah.
Goblins, and he got his own spin-off game that was originally on Game Boy and then ported later to Super Nintendo.
Wait, was it
AK.
Ghosts and Goblins or Ghouls and Ghosts?
Isn't that the same shit?
It's both.
Goods and Goose.
Oh, okay.
Goose. Ghouls and
But yeah,
Goose.
this game is fantastic. Amazing platformer.
Hold on, I like this picture. Go take it away really quick.
What's up?
Go to the one with the boy with the gargoyle coming out of his Game Boy. It's down. It's down. Down.
Oh wait, you're talking
down.
about this one right here?
Sure. There's a bigger one below it right there.
There you go.
I like that one.
Graphics so well.
He's like pointing like, ha! You're playing my
Gotcha,
game.
bitch."
Gotcha, bitch. I was
Yeah.
here the whole time.
Yeah.
Great game.
This is fantastic. I played it on console though, not the Game Boy.
Yep.
I'd imagine it's still fucking
I feel
hard
like
and fun
I-
on the Game Boy.
Oh yeah, it's hard as shit, but it's fun.
I feel like I watched a review of this recently that someone did.
I know that
Probably.
the reason I heard about this game was the Happy Video Game Nerd.
Oh.
Did
Yeah.
it? By the way, if you ever watched the Happy Video Game Nerd, fantastic YouTuber. Like he was a spin-off from the Angry Video Game Nerd, obviously.
Yeah.
But his videos are actually really good. And now his YouTube channel is Stop Skeletons from Fighting, which I really want to get him on the show someday.
Do it.
His channel is
wait.
called Stop Skeletons from Fighting.
Yeah, now it is
I like
because
that.
he.
It's funny.
So what he used to do in Angry Video Game Nerd, you know how he would always chug the beer and
Right,
he would be
yeah.
all like disheveled. So in the episodes of the Happy Video Game Nerd, he would be sitting there like all cordial with a glass of wine and being like, "This game's fantastic for this reason," and you know it was fantastic.
It's funny.
That's good.
I think it's only funny if you watch Angry Video Game Nerd though.
Oh, it's not inherently funny. He's just like, I wanted because Game Trailers did a competition where they're like, we want you to be the nerd, or we want you to make one of those style of videos, and he won that, and then he
I
kept
know
going
that.
popularity from
But
it.
that's what I mean. Is
That's
like
fun.
I think it's funnier, or probably only funny if you
Knowing the nerd.
know the antithesis to that.
What would you guys? By the way, I haven't sent him a message, but he's like readily available. Would you guys want the irate gamer on here?
I don't.
Yeah.
I
I
don't know
haven't
what it
watched
is, but
his
sure.
stuff. I've heard him referenced in other YouTubers.
The irate gamer is basically like,
Is he irate?
Is that right?
Is he
He's
worse
like-
than Angry Joe?
Is he a gamer?
no, he's like if Angry Video Game Nerd is like Kellogg's Frosted Flakes.
Perfect.
The
okay.
irate gamer is like,
Spooners.
yeah, he's
the
like
bag stuff that you get that doesn't have name on it. It's generic.
Hold on. If we
Yeah.
if we get him on
Compliment or-
the show, he might listen to this where you're just bagging on him.
No, I think he's a great content creator. It's
You
just
told
he's
me
the,
the
he does
bottom
the
of the
same.
barrel bullshit.
No, I wouldn't say that. He does the same. He did the same exact thing as the Angry Video Game Nerd at the same time at the height of their popularity.
You should have said he's Special K and like one of them is Honey Bunches of Oats or something.
There we go. That's
Well,
a
how
better.
many
That's a better
people-
Because
analogy.
those are both
Okay.
yeah.
How many YouTubers do the exact same thing on their channels?
Plenty.
Well, this was
Plenty.
like 10 years ago.
So they started YouTube.
They
Dun,
so
dun.
so James Rolfe
Pretty
came out with the
much.
Angry Video Game Nerd, and then
Right.
very soon after,
It's the irate
Chris.
gamer.
Exactly, but the difference was like James inspired a bunch of people, so other people were starting to do it. But Chris Boris or Boers, as his name is, he was like the one other channel at the time that was very popular.
But I mean, okay. So what I'm saying is like Game Grumps, Oni Plays, Super Mega, Super Best Friends Play. They're all the exact
Now,
same.
yeah, now
thing.
it's total commonplace.
Yeah.
Back then, it wasn't. That's the thing.
Yeah, there was a small number of like actual YouTubers that came out with like frequent content back in the
Well,
day.
I still think people shouldn't really get all pissed off about
He's
it.
not
It's
getting
not-
pissed off. He wasn't. He wants to invite him.
Yeah, but you call him the bottom of the barrel.
You're calling them
That's fucking
spooners,
weird.
man.
Yeah, spooners. What the fuck, dude? I don't know what that is.
That's a shitty off-brand type of cereal. They used to sell it at Stater Brothers. I don't know if they still do. But
Yeah, he stopped making gaming content a while back because he even all the way up till the end, like 2016, when he stopped doing it, people were still giving him shit. Like they were still saying you ripped off James Rolfe. You
That's so fucked up. Because
Yeah.
everybody does that nowadays.
oh yeah no now
And
it's
it doesn't-
totally
But I
Well-
mean, at now people shouldn't give him shit because
Yeah,
everybody
right.
does it.
no I don't know like that most of the time like YouTube drama like goes away
stupid.
eventually.
not for Richard Review Tech.
No,
It's still
apparently
kind
not.
of gone away, but there's still all those cucumber people. And
Well,
big
it's-
cheese.
What the fuck? I don't know what's going on.
It's a whole mess of things. It's turned to the point of memes now though on the Review Tech USA channel where people are just calling him Mr. Cucumber and Big Cheese and all that.
Interesting.
Yeah,
I want
eventually
cheese.
it goes away. Like, have any of you ever heard of the YouTuber Alex Day or
No.
Narimon?
No.
I heard the name. I'm not.
You've heard of it?
drawn
He
up.
was really popular about 5 years ago with, have you ever heard of Charlie Is So Cool? Like,
Nope.
No.
man,
I
I
used
came
to
from a
watch-
different space as you guys.
Yeah, I used to watch
Um,
Balloon Shop. A lot of Balloon
I
Shop.
love Balloon Shop.
They're fucking good.
How's he move his feet so fast?
I want to do the dance.
Yeah, it's just fucking. I love that. Balloon Shop's the shit. It's
It's
really
so
funny.
good.
I'm
It's
so
still
idea.
funny.
they,
It holds
they broke
up.
up is the sad part. Yeah.
Yeah, but they still do things on their own.
Every once in a while.
Owen, what's Owen?
Yeah.
Is his name?
Yeah. Owen though he did that like
He
the
did his
hot
own thing for a
coffee
long
thing
time.
earlier
That
this
was
year.
funny. Yeah,
It's
that was
hot.
last year, end of last year.
Yeah.
But yeah, he does his own stuff, and he's still really funny on his vlogs. But yeah, overall they broke up. They did some good shit.
That sucks.
Good shit though. 2006.
I watch a lot of YouTube poops. That's what I did.
Yeah,
Fucking
fuck
8
yeah.
years ago.
I love it. Hank of the Hill. Oh yeah.
Jesus.
Boggle.
What?
Boggle.
It's YouTube poop, man. It doesn't need to make sense.
It doesn't-
Same
it doesn't
thing
make
as those
sense.
fucking Gary's mods videos.
I can't do that stuff, man.
You
It
just
I'm
doesn't-
remembering them.
You have to
It's
take your
terrible.
brain.
Vaporware.
I like Vaporwave.
Vaporwave.
Yeah, that
The,
crap.
the music.
It's not crap. I love it.
I love it too.
I just know I found out who bag merchants were because of it, and they're great.
I don't know what that is.
It's
Bag
the one with
merchants?
the most Sizzlack one.
Oh,
Shooting
yeah.
Stars.
Yeah, Shooting Star.
Yeah,
The
that I
Bag
found,
Raiders.
Oh, Bag
Yeah,
Raiders.
Bag
Yeah,
Raiders,
yeah.
I found out who they are, and they were actually all the genre of music I listen to already. I'm like, this is pretty good stuff. So
Yeah, Vaporwave, Future Funk.
Oh,
Not my jam.
I found a passenger because I do Lyft.
Oh, I thought you were going to talk about Passenger of Shit for a second. I was
Yeah.
like, we're talking
no,
music. Okay.
No. A passenger showed me a group yesterday, or maybe it's just one guy. Called
Uh-huh.
Brother Tiger.
Brother Tiger.
I would hate
It's called
doing,
Brother Sister.
Yeah,
doing
it's-
Lyft or Uber, and someone's like, "Can I put on a song?" I'm like, "Fuck you! It's my car.
Damn.
I'm driving
That's-
my
that's
music."
not-
You're being paid for it.
don't give a
Exactly.
shit.
You're gonna have a low rating.
Yeah.
Good.
I have the opposite.
I also have a two-door
attitude.
car, so I can't even do it.
Yeah, I have the opposite
Yeah.
attitude about it. I would rather experience other people's music and like
Exactly.
broaden my
rule has
horizons.
always been, well, it's been my entire family, not just me, but
Uh-huh.
whoever's driving controls the music.
Yeah, in like
That's a
a,
big
in a
deal.
casual situation. But if
But
you're
now
being
when you're
paid for this
working-
ride, yeah.
I don't
When
know.
we're driving to LA, like when we went to
Oh, Indiecade.
Indiecade, yeah, I wanted to say PAX. I don't know why. I've never been to PAX. We went to
I have.
yeah,
you
we-
want to go to PAX.
I guess so, huh? We went to Indiecade. I usually like offer people to listen to music, and I did to Joy because she hadn't been in my car before. But I was like, I kind of just want to listen to something right now. So sometimes I have like moods where I'm like, okay, I got to listen to this right now.
Yeah, if I'm listening to something I don't really care for, I'm not in the mood, then there's probably going to be an accident.
Yeah.
'Cause that's how I drive.
Maybe you shouldn't have a license.
I shouldn't, but I do, and I've never been in an accident. I've been hit 3 times, but not my fault.
Just angry vaping.
Sometimes.
you put a cloud in front of your face so you can't see.
Hey, that happens sometimes. If it's cloudy outside and the moisture like keeps it, then I'll be like looking over it. Like,
Why are you vaping while you drive?
why do you smoke while you drive?
I don't.
Well, if you smoked, you would.
No, I wouldn't.
I do. Did. Still do.
And if I did, I'd probably do it with the window down.
Sometimes. Sometimes I want to hear my music. My music is really loud. I can't hear anything because those motorcycles drive by. I'm like, fuck you with your loud cars, motorcycles.
Like the caller ID literally said robo-caller. And I was like,
That's
why
funny.
the fuck would I answer
RoboCop is calling you.
that? Yeah, right.
No, like when I get in my car and turn on music, it's like, it's pretty damn loud because I like to feel the bass when I drive.
Uh-huh.
So,
Do you like Ace of Base?
I mean, not bad. Not bad. Sure, why not?
Yeah, you know, as long as the people aren't playing country, I'm usually
I
okay.
really
I'm
don't
a little
like
I'm
country.
I'm a little critical
I
of
literally know
music.
I'm also
one
really
person that
big
likes
on
country.
music. So
My girlfriend really likes country.
that
Okay, I know two people
sucks.
that like country.
Yeah.
That's it.
My
I mean,
parents.
I don't want to be that person, but my girlfriend's sister was at that country festival in Vegas.
That's right,
So
I worked at a country station when I was younger.
Oh,
So
yeah?
sorry.
Did you hate every moment of it?
They made me go to a show.
I'm sorry for your loss.
also, my mom's really into country. Maybe that's why when I was growing up, my mother listened to a lot of country music, and so did my aunt. So I would listen to a lot of their shit. And then my uncle, he introduced me to Ozzy Osbourne,
Nice,
Metallica,
nice.
and Bowling for Soup.
Oh, okay.
And well, I clung on to Bowling for Soup, obviously,
course.
as you know. I like pop punk. I love Ozzy.
I
Great music.
physically got sick as a kid from listening to country. Like I told my cousin I hated it, and I told him I really hated it, and I was crying, and he turned it up louder, and I was locked
See-
in the car, and I legitimately threw up because the country was playing. And I've
Cur-
grown up, so it doesn't make me throw up as much, but it's still I can't stand it.
current country music isn't as bad. Like
It's
I can't
bad.
no, I can't listen to like 60s country music that's really twangy, like Conway Twitty and shit like that.
Yeah,
Like if you listen to
I've listened to new. My parents are like
Yeah,
country
it's worse.
enthusiasts, like
It's
going to
worse.
Stagecoach and all that shit. I've
no,
heard
it's
it my whole.
not worse.
I've heard it my whole life.
because
and
I
then-
like things like Johnny Cash and Tiger Army is one of my favorite
That's
bands. And they have a lot
rockabilly,
of
though.
yeah, exactly. But a lot of people say it's country, it's western. I'm like country western is not country.
It's different.
Because
yeah.
Tiger Army, like, okay, the lead singer, Nick 13, he also has a solo project, which is very country western. That I don't really care for as much. But it's still more like Johnny Cash than it is country. But you can tell in his voice he kind of has that twang. So,
So what's really weird, like Green Day, not technically Green Day, but Billy Joe Armstrong put out a country album.
as
With-
a joke?
No, with Nora Jones, I think.
As a
Interesting.
joke?
No, not as a joke. He just likes country, apparently.
Interesting.
Like
No, his name's
You
Billy
should-
Joe.
You sure you're
So
not thinking of Billy Joel?
I'm 100%
No, I'm
sure.
just fucking with you.
By the way, I love Billy Joel.
Yeah,
I think he's fantastic.
Yeah,
I know you
totally.
do.
What was that?
I said, I know you do.
What, like Billy Joel, the piano
Oh, I
man?
was thinking,
Sing
sorry, I
me
thought it
a
was,
song
yeah,
of
okay,
the
he's,
piano
good. He's
man.
fantastic,
Yeah,
whatever.
I was like, he's fantastic.
I'm thinking of Green Day, and they're,
This is Billy Joel Armstrong.
I know.
They're what, Brandon?
They're just god-awful.
Oh,
Damn. You
Rock and
really-
Roll Hall of Fame band
Oh,
Yeah.
cool. So our,
on their very first attempt.
Do you like their older albums?
No,
No, he
those are
doesn't-
worse.
You like you know? Okay.
Real? Whoa.
American
Wow.
Idiot was the only one that I was okay with when I was in high school.
That's like that's what I consider their last. Like,
I've
good
also
album.
always hated punk.
Oh well, I guess
You're working at a punk station right now. Dutchie may come in
I
and
hate
stab
He
punk.
just
you.
comes in here and punches
Well,
him in the
He's
face.
just like, fuck you,
You know,
mate.
it's also
you say
really,
you hate punk?
Hey, it's also really funny that I love hardcore, traditional hardcore, which derives from punk.
Yeah, what the fuck?
Also love psychobilly, which
What?
derives
What the
from
fuck?
punk. I also like Red Hot Chili Peppers, where Flea, his first
started off
band
as a-
was
yeah,
Fear.
he still
which
dresses
was a
punk.
a 70s punk band.
It's
But
funny seeing
God
that
damn,
old
I
dude.
can't stand punk music by
Damn.
itself.
See, I like
That
pop-
is strange.
the reason why I like pop punk better, and I'm gonna explain this to you, is because I like punk guitar and everything, but I don't like how there's not a melody a
That's
lot of
funny.
the time.
I don't like the drums.
So, like, when you would listen to a band like Green Day or Weezer or Bowling for Soup, they have more of a melodic line that you can sing along to, where if you listen to a lot of traditional punk music, it's a lot of just monotone, a lot of...
You can sing along to institutionalized.
No, you can, but
Yes.
it's not... As someone who did, like, choir and theater, it's not as fun. That's all.
It's terrible. I hate it.
Hey, let's take me in
I've
the institution
got
said it was
something to
the
say.
oh.
I raped your
Yeah,
mother
it's something to
today,
say
and
because
it
you're not going to sing.
doesn't matter much to me. That's got a beat. It's got something you can follow.
No,
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just different. Like,
Music
I don't...
is subjective.
Yeah,
Exactly.
definitely is. But oh yeah, about country. I was always told growing up, "Oh, you'll like it when you get older. Oh, it
That-
speaks to you." And I
that's a
was,
good one.
Nah,
Bullshit.
no, I don't like it. I probably
Bullshit.
like it less because I was.
There are
listening to
certain
forever.
songs I like from country artists. Like,
That's like the case with anything, though. I feel like you can always find something that you
I
might
can't.
like.
I cannot think of what the group is, but there's a song like it's a 1:15. I'm all alone.
Lady
Anyway,
Antebellum.
thank you. Great
Oh,
band.
they're a country group.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's new
I've never
country.
knew.
Yeah, like I'm saying, some new country I enjoy, but
don't
it
like that
depends. It
song.
depends on how twangy it is, man. Like Blake Shelton's music drives me up the
No.
fucking wall.
Yes.
So you don't like classic country, like
No.
legit country.
I don't
No.
like either.
Like-
There's some of the older ones I actually do. I'm okay with. Like
This
I'm
is-
actually okay with Conway Twitty because it just sounds old and like
Oh man,
barish.
you must despise Pearl
God.
Jam.
Dude, I hate Pearl
'Cause
Jam.
Pearl
I told
Jam's
you.
grunge. Yeah, but I mean like really though, because Pearl Jam's grunge, which you hate,
I don't
and
like.
they have a lot of country root.
Yeah.
Holy fuck!
But I
I'm
love
okay
Pearl
with
Jam.
Pearl Jam,
I love
but when
Pearl
you
Jam.
brought up grunge, I don't like Nirvana.
I don't
No.
either.
This
at all.
is
Okay, good,
one of the
thank
this is
God.
actually right here what he's playing. This is one of the few exceptions of country songs I'm okay
What
with.
song is it?
I don't think I know this one.
I'm not gonna. Oh Jesus Christ!
Oh
no.
Jesus.
That one.
I'm not even gonna say the song that pisses me off. Like not just like I hate it. Actually makes me very angry. I'm not even gonna say the name of that
Why
on
not?
this show because he's gonna start fucking playing it if I say it.
Well,
Oh yeah, he
will
nodded.
you-
Good
will
call.
you-
Good call.
So
Yeah.
do you guys what's your opinion? Like a band I like their music typically in their country band is Rascal Flats.
Ew.
I didn't listen to
Ew.
this before.
My mom loved
Ew.
Rascal Flatts. I don't like them.
If
Yeah,
you
like-
watched Cars, you heard Rascal
Oh, I really like that
Flatts.
song, man.
No, god damn it.
Oh, he's about to put some
song.
Rascal Flats on.
It's
That's
better
Like, I
than
really
what
like their
he's like,
song.
no,
talking
I'm not.
about.
He's like, I'm not even gonna do that.
He's not gonna stoop that low. It's good
What do you mean that low? It's just one of the, I mean, it's all subjective. Like I really don't like country for the most part, but
Majority
I
of people don't.
There's a point where it's not subjective though, because it's like
The
I gave
majority
it a
of people
try.
actually do.
Yeah,
Well, okay, the
country
funny thing
the
is about
largest
country-
music station.
Yes.
But no,
in
they
all
have their
public
own
radio.
station.
Why are you telling
They
me
don't
that?
play country music
you
with
said
everything else.
no.
They
Yeah,
have their
but-
own
but
station
there's
to keep it
still
away.
The most terrestrial stations in
Yeah.
the United States are all country.
Yeah.
Like over 50% of the
Okay.
stations.
well, you
are.
can't say it's
Yeah.
unpopular and
It
then
is
they
No, I'm
give you
saying
facts
the
that
fact that they have to keep it separate from everybody else.
No, yeah,
Like you can go
said-
to a music festival with different genres, but usually country not going to be there.
I mean, rock
Radio
gets their own
station.
I
station.
saw Chris Stapleton at Coachella and Willie Nelson at Coachella.
That's different. It's Coachella.
Is
So-
it different?
Will you, hey
I didn't say specific music festival. I said most music. Festival.
Bernard, will you play "Long Time Gone" by Billy Joe Armstrong? Because I just want to show them how weird it is to hear his
It's
voice.
the kind of gaming show, not the shitty music
It's
show.
kinda.
It's kinda. We can talk
Kinda
about whatever we
of.
want.
Kind of gaming.
Like kinda of.
Play some Tiger Army and Shadow of the
Oh,
Night.
it doesn't say kinda of
Prisoner of the
anymore.
Night, sorry.
Oh, it says kind of. Oh, fixed it. Oh,
Oh, go ahead and can you turn it
Still
up a little
fun.
bit? This is so weird.
Oh Jesus!
It's so
fuck.
strange.
No, play Outlaw Heart by Tiger Army. That's when people go, "This is straight up country."
All right, that's enough. Thank you, Bernard.
Look up Outlaw Heart.
I hear his
By
voice in it. Still.
No, I
Yeah.
like when I get it. Like he doesn't have a bad voice for it. The way
Yeah.
he's like kind of has a nasal thing going on. It's just strange.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I hope he plays the song.
We're getting
It's
close to
good.
the
It's
end
good.
here.
I know we have less.
Oh.
Is that the one you're looking for?
Yep.
We have 8 minutes.
Oh shit.
See, when I listen to
shit.
this Sacrabilly, I've heard people go like, "That's really country." I'm like,
No,
You call
rockabilly,
this
psychobilly is
country.
not country.
Yeah.
It's
Not
not.
at all.
No, that's like Johnny Cash. I was saying earlier. That's rockabilly. It's not
Exactly.
country.
No, well, you're more likely to hear it on like K-Frog, a country station, than you are like a regular pop station.
K-Frog is a country
Yeah,
station.
It
pop
is, it's
yeah, you won't hear it on a
only
pop
country.
station. You'll hear it on a
No.
rock station.
There are certain country songs. that
Yes,
hear on
and
pop
K-Frog
stations.
is 100% a country station.
Ah, I never listened to it. I always seen like
I just
the
dated a
billboards.
girl that
Oh
did,
yeah, that's
and
straight up country.
no, not good stuff. They play the same like 5 songs over and over.
No.
It just sounds like it. No.
Yeah, yeah.
Can we all agree that hick hop is garbage?
Hiccup.
Hick hop.
No, hip hop.
What is
I believe is.
What's
Well,
hip-hop?
okay, I'm just going to
Country
say
rap.
Of course,
I don't
it
know. I
is.
really
Well,
That
like.
goes without saying. What are you talking about?
Like Kid Rock.
Kid Rock.
No, like
Well, Kid Rock is.
I
good.
enjoy.
like,
I
it's like
enjoy
a-
a few Kid
it's
Rock
like
songs.
a modern thing that
There's
they've
like
been
3.
doing.
I really like his version of Sweet Home Alabama.
I'm
Is
not
that the?
going to comment. On
It's not
that.
a version of it. Is it?
No, he has his own version of Sweet Home
No,
Alabama.
but it's not a version. It's a song he sampled Sweet Home Alabama in.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
fair.
It's not his version. Is this Mr. Booty?
That's hip hop.
Would it be?
This-
No.
Bubba
this is-
Sparks was the first hip hop rapper.
They consider this hick hop.
This
This
is
is hip hop. This is the
Oh, 'cause
Bubba
they're-
Sparks was the first hip hop rapper, so everything he does is considered hip hop.
so what's
Well,
the
they
line
changed
between-
they changed the genre recently then because there's a lot of country like new country stars singing, but they're like rapping in their music,
See-
kind of like how Taylor Swift does. But
See, I was gonna say
countries.
I like that when Taylor Swift first came out, that album, like that was country pop,
I
and
like
I enjoy
Taylor
that
Swift.
more than regular country music.
I like all of Taylor Swift. I'll just say that.
Like
I-
as,
man,
as
dude,
a
I-
woman or as a musician?
Both.
he's like all over.
Yeah.
No, I
How
mean
about
her new
both
song
As a
sucks.
country
Oh,
artist?
I'm okay
look
with
what you made me do. Oh, look what it's
You know
so
what's funny?
bad.
You can sing, but you're fucking like fucking it up just on purpose.
No, that song legitimately,
sounds.
it's just like look what you made me do.
Oh,
Look
jeez.
what
She
you
does.
made me do.
But her voice
Where's
is
the
nicer than
bass
his.
line, Taylor? It's not even a bass
There,
line.
there are worse songs
there
though,
is.
like Selena Gomez's song where she literally just talks and doesn't go with any beat or anything, and they'll play it like on radio stations like this isn't even good. It's
By the
not
way,
making sense.
Thank you, Connor, for saying I can legitimately sing. That was so sweet.
I mean, you can. It's true.
Yeah.
You, like, but then you always like fuck it up for
Yeah,
some
well,
reason.
like when, I was thinking about that earlier. What the fuck were you singing earlier? Firework. I
Oh,
was like, he's singing this really shitty on purpose, right?
I don't like. It's just one of those things. Like I don't want to just start actually trying to sing because I feel like that demand. I
You don't
know,
even
it's
actually.
different.
It's not even that you actually try to. You just actually can. Like I will legitimately say, you can sing. You just don't.
Yeah. More
So-
often than not, but when I'm in my car and I'm just pumping Firework because I have 2 versions of the original Katy Perry or second Katy Perry CD.
I'm like able to sing if I have the lyrics in front of me. I can't remember lyrics worth shit, even on like my favorite songs. It's like this. He knows.
Yeah.
It's like he's like he knows I know the song. I just when I'm like singing it, I fucking can't remember.
It's a real
words. I don't know
treat
why.
to hear Connor sing how the Grinch or You're a Mean One, Mr. Grinch,
Yeah.
or
I feel like you're-
Chocolate Rain.
I feel like
Either
your
one of
voice is
I like
those.
perfect
Chocolate Rain,
for
I wanna do
Grinch.
For anything, James Earl Jones.
Can you give us a little Chocolate
he-
Rain, Connor?
Chocolate rain. Some stay dry while others feel the pain.
You did already
Chocolate
fuck up the lyrics.
rain. A baby born with eyes before the sun.
Yep. See, you got it
I don't
wrong.
I got hit by puberty like a train. Chocolate Rain.
But yeah, either way, I could get the melody.
Yeah.
It's like I can always like get in there, and I can if I have the lyrics in front of me, I can actually
We
fucking
have
sing.
4 minutes.
Oh, okay.
I've been enjoying talking about.
I have to
music.
go to the bathroom.
Yeah, you can go to the bathroom.
You're more than
We'll-
welcome. We'll
We'll
cut-
close the show while you pee. Maybe you'll be back in time.
All right.
What's everyone been playing? I've been playing the Animal Crossing game on the phone. I got the APK, downloaded
Nice.
it, and it's not actually officially out in America until November. I'm gonna stop playing because I'm playing just to make sure it works and like see what I should expect. And I was like, do I spend all my money right away, or is it like, yeah, it's fun. It's the freemium is not getting in the way because I haven't
Nice.
spent any money and it's playable.
Cool.
So if anyone's wondering about that's watching, listening, whatever. There's 3 people watching. I don't know how many people are listening,
No idea.
but it's worth playing. I
Yeah.
like it.
I recently I've been doing. I play a little bit more Cuphead today. That fucking dragon in World 2, man. He's given me some trouble. Like I've been skating through the game.
That's what I always hear people talking about is the dragon.
The dragon. I also been playing the Fractured Butthole. And
Thank you for putting the.
you're.
like-
I thought of you when I did that too.
yeah, people just like forget about the
Fractured
wordplay.
butthole. It's like
Pe-
it's butthole.
Yeah, people forget about the
Um,
wordplay in it. They don't appreciate it.
It's so good. I'm about 4 hours into it. The comedy's fantastic. Character creation. It takes it fixes what was wrong with the Stick of Truth, because the Stick of Truth was a fantastic episode of South Park, but the gameplay was so simple. Like about halfway through, you could just press one button and wipe the enemy team, no matter who it was.
Bernard, what you been playing?
Actually, the Xbox is having those games come back now. right?
Yeah.
So what I put on my Xbox the other day, all of a sudden D&D Tower of Mystara came up.
Oh man,
And I have just been ruining gnomes and owlbears left and right.
you're talking to my
and,
heart, man.
And fuck that damn dark elf. And I'm just going crazy playing that. I go home, put it in, did dwarf, and just start beating the crap out of everything for like a good 2 hours. I'm loving life.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Have you, Bernard? Have you ever played Dragon's Crown?
Right?
Ooh,
No,
that's
I
a
don't
very good game.
think so.
You
it's
need
on
to, if
Vita
you-
and PS3. It's being remade on PS4.
I own it. I know I own it. I just haven't played it yet.
It
You
is
need to.
really good.
Because the reason why I remember me and my friends would go down to the arcade in Camelot Games off the 57
Yeah,
and the
boy.
91 in order
Or-
for us to be able to play the D&D Tower of Doom. So
Played the fuck out of arcade machines in there.
great game right now.
Well,
I like that place.
I think we're rolling out, right? Is it? How many? We got like
yeah, you don't worry about it.
seconds-ish.
Yes.
I don't know. But Dragon's Crown is legitimately my favorite game on Vita.
It's a
Okay.
fantastic game
It's
to play
fucking good.
through.
I'm not
And
really
the
playing
reason I set it
anything.
up is because it's like you're playing through a D&D campaign.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so
It's like Golden Axe on crack.
yeah, man, the
It's-
combat's so fun.
I'll
It's
pop it
fast
in.
paced.
It's
coming to PS4 though?
Yeah,
It is.
They're
News.
it might come to other systems too.
Was it
it's
Odin
not-
Sphere?
Odin Sphere,
Oh
yeah,
my
all
God.
same company.
That was fun, but that one's a side scroller. So
They're
how
both
is that?
side
So is
scrollers.
Dragon's Crown.
Dragon's Crown is a side scroller. It's depthful. You go across. It's dungeons though, and there are multiple passageways in some of the levels. Like you can go through doors and whatnot.
hmm
That's cool.
It's fucking good. Like
Odin Sphere
the
is
characters are
fine,
very different,
but-
like between each other, like the play styles.
Cool.
Play as the witch, play as the knight or anything. Yeah. So That's it.
That's all the time we have.
Kind of gaming show.
Bye.
We love all of you.
Yeah.
Does anyone have an objection to loving the audience?
I was going to speak for yourself.
No, yeah,
I
no,
don't know
they're
them,
okay.
so I can't say anything.
You can always give love. Jesus loved everyone.
We have an audience.
I'm excited.
I don't believe in mythical creatures anymore.
I'm excited.
You can be the unicorn.
Next week,
Oh.
man. Top 5 Dreamcast. So excited.
Oh, that's what's next.
I'm sending in my list 'cause I won't be here.
We'll
It's our
check.
brand-
I'll
Brandon
I'll
will be
read
here and
Bernard's list because
yeah.
I don't play Dreamcast, never did.
All right. Cool.
That's
so,
See
thanks
you,
everybody.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Deuces.
Hey now, you're an all-star. Get your game on, go play. Hey now, you're a rock star. Get the show on, get paid. Only shooting